To you I send. Here. How we doing? How's everyone feeling? What are we all up to? Hey, what's up, Lizzie? How are we all feeling? What are we all up to? Isn't the feminism book club tonight? Or am I mistaking my dates? I don't know. It's totally possible that I'm confused. Oh, it's Thursdays. Fuck me. Okay, it's been sent out. Make sure you're double tapping on that screen, sharing it with your friends, and all that good stuff. I hope that everyone's having a fantastic day. If you want to debate the topic, make sure that you're 18 or older. Make sure that you believe in the God of the Bible, the Torah, or the Quran. I also ask that you have some sort of reason to think that God exists. Additionally, I'd probably be fine to debate like a deist. You just need to think that there's like a mind that is the ultimate foundation of reality. If you don't believe in some sort of ultimate mind, you know, we kind of just don't disagree. So, with that, we will go to the very first guest. Let's get the trolls out of the way early. Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Doing well. How old are you?
I'm 30.
Yep. What religion?
So kind of new to atheism, but I just had a question about your belief, if that's okay.
Sure.
So I apologize for coming up here. Probably could have asked this in the Discord, but I just had a question because I've heard your take on like the contradiction of if God was the creator or if creation was eternal. Could creation be eternal and be essence of God, like creation is God,
Be
or
the
does that
essence of
not work?
God?
Yeah.
No, because presumably that would commit you to just saying something like the universe is God. And then at that point, it's no longer theism, it's some other thing. In fact,
Oh,
like that
okay.
just seems like totally compatible with naturalism. And
Gotcha.
additionally, like a
Okay.
lot of theists will want to, they'll want to resist the idea that creating is one of God's essential properties. They're pretty committed to saying that God could have freely created or freely not created. At that point, I think you theism also loses like pretty badly to like parody positions. Like I don't know, there's like some like Platonic one, and it just is like goodness itself, and then it gives rise to the universe, but it doesn't have a mind. Well, that's like a simpler view than all of that stuff plus a mind. So yeah, I don't know. I just think that there are problems with that.
Gotcha, gotcha. Okay, well, I appreciate it. Sorry to come up. Have a good
Yep,
day.
you're all good. Hey, thanks so much for coming on up here. Make sure you're double tapping on that screen if you're in that guest request box. Hey, how's it going?
Yep. 20 years old.
And what religion?
I'm Muslim.
Yeah, what makes you think God exists?
Okay, so before that, I just want to say, your beard is like making me so horny right now. Like, oh my gosh. Like, it's making my cock grow, bro. Like, I don't know what's going on.
Yep, gotta get the trolls out of the way early.
Yo, what's going on? What
Yeah,
the
how's it
hell?
going? How old are you?
That dude was weird, man. I'm 28 and a half.
Sure. And what religion?
I would call myself I'm an ex-Muslim, but I'm a pantheist. Is that okay? Can I debate
Not
that?
really, because I'm not sure that pantheism is false. It depends on it probably depends on like what your
Oh,
pantheism is, but I'm specifically
well,
debating
I
like
knew,
theists.
and I knew I was an intelligent man. If you and me have the same views, I mean, I'm an intelligent guy then, right? Because you're intelligent.
I mean, I appreciate that. So I'm not. I should probably clarify.
Okay.
I don't have a reason to think that pantheism is true, but maybe the pantheist claim is something like the universe itself is having a phenomenal experience, and I'm not sure if I think that that's false. That could be true, but I take God to be like a transcendent being, like a being that's separate from the universe. So maybe it turns out that the universe itself is having some sort of experience in the same way that our brains give rise to an experience within us or to like our internal mental experience. You know, that could be the case. It's like epistemically possible. You know, I'm not
Well,
sure I'd say that
hell
that's
yeah, man,
God.
amazing. Well, okay, well, hell yeah, man. Keep growing that beard. Are you gonna keep growing it pretty long?
We'll see. Yeah.
That would be crazy, man. That would be crazy. You look like a mini Jordan Peterson, man.
Oh, that's not good.
And 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 take that as a compliment too, man,
I
because he's a
don't.
good-looking man. So, okay, well, hey, man, thank you for inviting me up, and God bless.
Hey, thanks so much for coming on up. Make sure you're double tapping on that screen, sharing it with your friends, doing all that good stuff. If you're in that guest request box, make sure that you are 18 or older. You know, I currently have nobody requesting to join. If you want to debate the topic, you got to be 18 or older. You got to believe that a God exists, specifically like some sort of like ultimate mind, you know, like a mind that created the universe and created all the other things. I'd prefer it if you were like Christian, Muslim, or Jewish. I guess you could also be a deist, but I draw a pretty firm line there. It would also be great if you had some reason to think that God exists. Otherwise, feel free to request to join. Currently have 0 requesters. You know, I'm gonna have to yap, which is always unfortunate. Synthwave Ash, thanks so much for the resubscription. I appreciate that. It's cool that you've been subbed for 2 months. That's great. Missy Debbie, thank you so much for the gifted Cool Corey membership. Welcome to the community, the receiver of this Cool Corey membership. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Okay, well, I guess it's time for me to yap now that I've done the other stuff. You know, if you want to, I don't know, if you're like trying to learn a bit about philosophy, trying to learn a bit about ethics, we're doing a reading group in the Discord, the Allegedly Ian Discord. It's discord.gg/allegedlyian. You got to be 18 or older. But the next one is going to be this upcoming Saturday. It's titled, one sec, let me pull up the title of this. Well, it's on Virtue Ethics by Rosalind Hursthouse, but the chapter is Virtue and Emotions, chapter 5. It's going to be great. The last chapter was really interesting. Rosalind Hursthouse went through and compared and contrasted like virtue ethics motivations to the Kantian motivations. Like what does it mean to be like motivated towards the good, or like what are the good things to be motivated by, and gave some reasons to think that Kant's account of it is incorrect. I guess this is like a great segue for me to yap about it a little bit. So Kant has this idea, it can be like misunderstood pretty easily, but Kant thinks that the good person with the good will not act because they enjoy doing good things. They'll act because it's the good thing to do. It's not even just that they're like altruistic and it feels great to do. It's that, you know, they have a single aim and it's at the good, and that's what they do. And that's where all their actions stem from. Not enjoyment, not, you know, self fulfillment, not like any of these other things, not like avoiding pain, goodness, just goodness itself. And you know, that can be like misunderstood as saying that Kant is saying that it's never going to be enjoyable for you to do the good thing. But I think Kant has like a more sophisticated point, which is that, you know, he's just saying that this is the only way to reliably do the good thing, is if that's your goal. If your goal is to do good, then you will do good more reliably than somebody whose goal is to just get pleasure, because when doing good is no longer pleasurable, the person's going to stop doing it. So I think that there's like an interesting point there, but okay, let's go to the very next guest, I guess. Hey, how's it going?
I just want to say to you, you can say you don't believe in Allah and be a disbeliever, but you cannot say Allah isn't real.
Oh, why
you
not?
cannot say the fact Allah isn't real.
Why not?
Somalia, we don't fear nobody, we fear only Allah, alhamdulillah. And the previous
Do you want to
scripture,
talk about that, or do you want to...
alhamdulillah, God is real, indeed.
Okay, you want to get upset, it sounds. You know, I'm sorry that my title has upset you so much, but how about we have a discussion about it? So, do you think that... Okay, yeah, he's not interested. He just wants to yap more. Are you done whining? Let me know when you're done whining.
Okay, we can talk.
Yeah, okay. Do you think that God is all-powerful and also necessarily honest?
He's all powerful, all knowing, all wise. He knows who follows his religion. He knows everything, alhamdulillah. And
Is it
soon,
possible?
many minor signs have come. I'm from Somalia. I've seen on TikTok people mocking the 5 daily prayers. This is indeed minor sign. Soon the day of judgment will come.
You
Inshallah.
good?
People don't fear Allah when the
I don't know.
trumpet.
I don't know what you've seen that's like upset you so profoundly. You know, maybe a few deep breaths would do you well. I have no idea what you're talking about. You know, I don't think that your religion is any sillier than the Christian's religion. So,
Soon
you
he
know,
will come.
I'm
Somalia, we accept
Okay.
strong hadith, brother. We accept strong hadith. In the
sorry.
two
Wait, but do you
strong-
think that God ever lies?
Sallallahu alayhi wasallam. He said,
Okay, let me know when you're done freaking out
he
again.
will to break the cross. He will pray humbly like us Muslims to Allah, inshallah. The day will come, inshallah.
Does God ever lie?
What do you mean by this?
Lie?
How did Allah lie? How did Allah lie?
I'm asking, does God ever lie?
But how did Allah lie? Allah never
I'm
lied.
asking, does he ever lie?
Allah never lied. I'm telling you, Allah
Okay,
never.
so it sounds like no. Does God have the power to lie?
How did Allah? Please tell us all.
Does
300.
God have the power to lie?
How did Allah lie?
I didn't say that he lied. That's not my claim. You're confused. Does God have the
Brother,
power to lie?
I fear Allah. I cannot misguide you.
Okay.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Somehow we're making like just zero progress to the point where I'm just gonna move on to the next guest. Hey, how's it going? Whoa, we missed you. We've been thinking about you. We've been talking about you. We've been considering you. We've been like pondering you. We've been wondering, like, where are you? Where have you been? We care about you. You know, sometimes even we worry about you. I hope you're so good. We love you. Hey, how's it going?
What's up?
Yep. How old are you?
I'm 19.
And what religion?
Christian.
Yep. What makes you think that God exists?
I believe the Lord exists because I've read the Bible. I've read some of the Bible. I've not read the whole thing, but like the evidence that I've seen with like it being written throughout 1500 years, I think that's the number. I'm not really sure, but I'm pretty sure it's 1500. With being written by over 40 people and written in 3 different languages. That's why I believe it.
Yeah. So are you just saying like the religion is probably true because of how old it is?
No.
Okay, then it's unclear to me. Like, is there a specific piece of evidence? Is it just like
Well,
there's
that-
like a lot of books and they're really old and that's the evidence that it's true?
Well, then also, if you read it and you really follow what it's trying to tell you, do you think you're going to be a better person in general?
Depends where your starting point is, I think. What I will say is that I think that when it comes to the ethics of the Bible is quite primitive with its ethics, even like at its best, when you have Jesus delivering his Sermon on the Mount, as opposed to the Old Testament God being, I mean, just like an evil piece of shit. You know, even when you have like the good verses, they still get utterly like, I don't know, like evaporated by modern moral philosophy. There have just been so many moral improvements on these lessons that Jesus has espoused that there are like these problem cases that, for example, the golden rule can't take care of. I don't know what all this like liquid in the background is. Are you good? Are you getting like
Yeah, I'm
fucking
just drinking
waterboarded?
water.
Okay.
No, I'm just drinking water.
Okay. Sure. So let's say that the golden rule that you should do unto others as you want others to do unto you. This has like pretty absurd conclusions. You know, for example, let's say you're suicidal and you want others to come and kill you. Should you then go and kill others?
No.
Exactly. So the golden rule has just these absurd edge cases. But then there are like more modern moral developments, things like Kant's categorical imperative that you should always treat everybody as like an intrinsically valuable being that's working to pursue their own goals. You know, you should respect other people's autonomy, and you should treat yourself in that same way. You know, these are going to say that you probably shouldn't take your own life and you for sure can't take other people's lives. So modern moral developments are able to like easily accommodate these sorts of cases. So even at its best, I don't think that the Bible is like a particularly advanced piece of moral literature. Okay.
Yeah. But
Oh, okay. I see. It's a troll. That's my bad. That's my bad, G. I took him too seriously. You good?
Hold on. Before, hello?
Yep. Yeah. How old are you? What religion are you?
I'm 19, Christian.
Okay.
Before we go into this, can I ask you, are you a biological man?
I'm not sure man is a biological category, but if what you're asking is something like, are you male? Yeah, I'm male. I was assigned male at birth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just have simple questions for you. That's it.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna get out of here. Number one, how does every season come back every single year?
Wow, this is gonna blow your fucking mind. So there are certain cycles that weather and weather formation goes through. There's something called the polar vortex. It forms in the Arctic, and at specific times, based on like the temperature that it begins to descend after it's been like built up big enough. That's typically what accounts for the reoccurring winter storms. And additionally, what's going on there is that the Earth is like tilted towards, or it's the Earth is I think it changes its tilt. That's what accounts for the seasons, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
But I mean, why is that evidence for God?
Well, that's just like one out of like many.
Why
many,
would
other-
that be evidence for God? Like,
It
let's say
would
my answer
because-
is that I don't know. Why would
It
that
would
be
because
evidence
it
for
would
God?
show. It would because it would show that it doesn't come from randomness. what
Okay,
it would show.
but let's say I didn't even know what the explanation was. Why would I assume God instead of just saying that I don't know? Or saying that, there's like some natural explanation that we just haven't figured out yet. There are lots of natural things that we at one time didn't know and then figured out. Why wouldn't it just be one of those?
You figured it out, and what did you figure out about it? It had an order to it, right? It had complexity to it, which would show that there was a creator.
That doesn't really seem to answer the question or even really engage with it. My question is just, even if I didn't know what explained the fact that we have recurring seasons, why would I then think that it's God as opposed to some naturalistic explanation that we just haven't discovered yet?
Well, I can't really prove that, but I would say it. You could have
Why
maybe
would
an idea.
God want us to have seasons? Why does God give a fuck about that?
Because he wants to.
Oh,
Why
okay.
does it?
Well, I can just say the universe just has a disposition to produce seasons because it wants to. Because
Yeah,
it's
but the
just
universe
disposed
isn't
to doing
conscious.
that. Yeah, we can
The
just say that it
universe
has
isn't
like some brute
conscious.
disposition to do that in the same way you're saying God just has some brute, unexplained desire to want seasons, Your God you've like profoundly finely tuned your God in order to explain data that is like frankly much worse than fine tuning,
Okay, can I ask you another question?
I guess.
How does every single human have a unique fingerprint and a unique tongue print?
Because there are so many atoms that go into your fingerprint and there are so many atoms that go into your
No,
tongue
no.
print.
Yeah,
It's
that
just
doesn't
going to
make
be an
sense.
inevitability that each one is going to be unique because of the range of possibilities. Also, I mean, frankly, like the atoms that compose your fingerprint for sure change over time. Your finger grows.
Yeah, nah, you haven't disproved that at all.
Your finger didn't grow?
No, you haven't disproved. You
Do your
haven't
fingers
showed
grow?
how.
Do they not grow?
Yeah, they do, but
Okay.
you haven't showed.
Well, it sounds like your fingerprint gets bigger over time.
Yeah, but you can't give it like a logical. You can't give it a logical response to why every single human has their own unique fingerprint and their own unique tongue print.
Can you summarize back to me what my response was? Because I think I did give a response.
You said atoms and the finger grows and that the fingerprint changes. Like
I see.
th- this.
I'm kind of surprised that went over your head. There are like a fuck ton of atoms that go into your fingerprint, which means that there's like a truly unimaginable combination of possible fingerprints out there. It's just going to be an inevitability that everybody's fingerprints are going to be different just based on the number of combinations.
Okay, can I ask you another question?
Sure.
Why do we have cells in our bodies that are constantly trying to keep us alive and keep and have our like have us, keep us breathing, keep us alive, have our body working properly, called the immune system. Where does that come from?
Where does the immune system come from?
Yes.
That's a great question, because this is something that, the theist is actually totally unable to account for. It comes through the process of evolution, that you have this biological arms race that, you develop this organism, but then another organism, a disease, for example, is trying to take advantage of it. It's trying to siphon off its resources. It's trying to use it as a place to grow and divide and colonize. So then the first organism over time, the ones that want to maintain the resources are the ones that are, they have the mutations that allow them to maintain the resources. Well, they're going to develop tools to get rid of these creatures that are trying to colonize them, because it's more advantageous since it gives them a wider range of access to their own resources. How does an immune system come about if God exists, though? Like, did God make the diseases too? He made both the diseases and the immune system?
Well,
I think you're going to
diseases come
find that
from-
this is a data point that strongly favors God's non-existence.
the thing is, you atheists always talk about evolution. Where does evolution even come
Wait,
from?
sorry,
How
do
did
you want to answer my
evolution-
question?
Okay, yeah. Diseases come from sin.
Okay,
Sin in the world.
did God pre-program Adam and Eve with an immune system, even though diseases didn't exist yet?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, well, either he did or he didn't, right? If they
Well-
didn't have the immune system, well, then you're going to have to give some sort of evolutionary explanation that's working at like fucking warp speed in order to explain how they got the immune system. And if they did have the immune system, then that's just an instance of God designing poorly, because he's designing a tool that protects you from a thing that doesn't exist yet.
Well, I don't know if the immune system existed before that. But can you answer my question?
We
Where
went
did
through both
evolution come from?
routes. Wait, sorry, we went through both routes. I don't know doesn't help you, because we can just explore both options and both of them go bad for you.
Okay. All right, whatever. You're not gonna believe it anyways. Where did evolution come from?
Where did evolution come from? You're asking
Yeah,
for an
how does
explanation of it. Are
evolution
you asking
exist?
for like a causal explanation?
Yes. How did evolution exist?
Yeah, evolution comes about just via the fact that the cells that spread their genes, or the things that have genes that spread their genes, that are the best and most prolific at spreading their genes, are going to be the ones that spread their genes the best, which is going to favor things that survive and reproduce as opposed to things that die and are infertile. So
So basically,
through a
so-
process of cellular replication and mutations, the mutations that are advantageous towards survival and reproduction are going to be selected for.
So all of this came from randomness.
Depends what you mean by randomness.
So
If
Out
all
of
you're
nowhere-
saying by that is that there's like chancy processes that happen, yeah, there are chancy processes that happen. But I mean, frankly, that's not going to help you, because you'd probably posit that all of God's desires are random. You think God randomly desires seasons, and you think God randomly desires fingerprints. I'm sure you probably think God randomly desires all of these exact species.
okay, wait, but you believe that, like, out of nowhere in the middle of the universe,
No.
something expanded out of nowhere,
No,
and all of a sudden we have. Oh, you don't believe that?
that's not what I believe. No, I think that the universe was in a hot, dense state, and then it rapidly expanded.
Out of nowhere, though, right?
No,
From randomness.
no.
So where did it come from?
It was in a hot, dense state. It didn't come into existence. It was in a hot, dense state prior to the expansion, and then it expanded.
So basically, you believe that 0 plus 0 equals 1. That's what you
I don't think I said that. I think that
Well,
that might
that's
be
the-
a bit of a mischaracterization. What's your name? Keep Faith. I know that you would never strawman my position, but I'm worried that the audience might come away with the impression that that was a bit of a strawman.
Well, that's basically what you and every other atheist believes.
Can you summarize back to me what I said
Um,
about the Big Bang?
the Big Bang. You said it was in some sort of state. I don't know, like some sort of state, and it expanded. It sounds like the Big Bang to me. It
So
sounds
do I think
similar to
that
the
there
Big-
was ever something that came from nothing, or do I think that there was always something?
You believe something came from nothing. That's what you believe.
I don't believe something came from nothing.
Yes, you do. you
Eh.
do.
I believe that there was always something. I think the universe
Okay.
always existed, for example.
Okay, fine. What was the other one I had to ask you? Oh yeah. When we look at waterfalls, why does the waterfalls never run out of water?
That's a great question. Because of something called the water cycle. You know, when you have this effect called evaporation, where water will evaporate into the atmosphere and it will collect together as like water vapor into clouds high up into the atmosphere. These clouds will then redistribute that water all throughout. And then there will be streams that run. For example, like if you go to Colorado, there's a point where you'll have two streams that'll divide, and then one of them goes to the Atlantic Ocean and one of them goes to the Pacific Ocean. And, water just goes down from there.
Okay. I have one more question for you. I mean, I could ask a bunch of more questions, but I'll just ask this one more
Why
question.
would God want waterfalls?
Because he does. It's
Okay, yeah,
beauty.
sure. It's just another brute fact on your view. God brutally desires seasons and he brutally desires waterfalls, and it's explained by nothing. And he like brutally desires fingerprints and he brutally desires all of these different species, and there's just no further explanation.
It shows his beauty. It shows the beauty of God. But anyways, I have this one more question. You believe in evolution, right? For humans, right?
Yeah, although to be clear,
So-
I don't think that an atheist would need to hold that. Technically, an atheist could hold lots of positions on this. But yeah, I believe in evolution for humans.
Okay, so if we evolved from apes, why are there still apes here today?
We are apes.
We're apes. Why
Yes.
are there other apes? What
Because
are we
ape
now?
is an umbrella category. It includes things like human and it includes things like chimpanzee and bonobo.
So we're apes. How are we apes?
I'm not sure what that question's asking.
Like, how are we animals? Why do you believe we're animals?
What else would we be? Bacteria? Goddamn plants?
Just human beings, souls. That's what I
Souls.
believe.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what I believe.
How would you explain all of the similarities, both genetically, but also through like the life cycles between us and chimpanzees? Like, for example, we have, we sleep for like roughly the same amount of time each night. Our gestational periods are roughly the same length of time. We have all of the same remnants of viruses in our genome. Viruses, they'll leave like little marks in your genome sometimes. They're called retroviruses. And we have basically all of the same retroviruses between us and chimpanzees. Keep in mind, these don't do anything. They play zero functional role.
I believe so because I feel like we're just different. Like, I feel like
How would you explain all the similarities between us? Like, why is it the case that we share so many similarities with chimpanzees?
I guess-
and with
I mean,
bonobos?
we share similarities to a lot of animals. We
Can you
all
name
have
an
brains.
animal that's even like remotely comparable to like the similarities that we share with chimpanzees and bonobos?
I mean, I'm
and
just
other
saying, like,
apes?
maybe a chimpanzee would be more closely related to us in biological things, but every animal
fucking
has
guy.
like a brain. Every animal has like organs. So like that doesn't really prove your point about.
But the specific things we share with chimpanzees, we share all of those things with chimpanzees, but then we also share way more specific things.
Okay, well, it still doesn't prove anything, but that's all I have to say. I could probably ask you more questions. Maybe
Could
I
you?
don't
Here's
know.
a very specific one. Why is it the case that both us and chimpanzees lack the gene that allows us to produce our own vitamin C, but then every other animal has this?
What are you talking about? Our bodies
So,
do produce.
Our
vitamin C.
bodies don't produce its own vitamin C. We have to get vitamin C from foods that we eat. We share this characteristic, I think, with chimpanzees. But across all other mammals, they're able to produce their own vitamin C.
I don't know, but
Yeah.
that doesn't disprove God being real. I still believe God.
But
is
isn't that
real.
like kind of strange, right? If evolution is false, it's kind of weird that, this other animal that we share all these characteristics with, we also share these like very niche characteristics with, like over and over and over again. Can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
Where do you think rain comes from?
Where does rain come from?
Yeah.
evaporation. It comes from clouds.
This fucking
No,
guy.
condensation.
This
but
fucking
evaporation
guy.
first. Evaporation first and then
Unbelievable.
condensation.
I can't believe I'm getting my water cycle answer stolen. Damn, you
Well-
really took notes on that answer.
Well, yeah. Okay, fine. It doesn't really disprove water coming from nowhere and constantly having waterfalls, whatever. Okay, I'm out of here, bro.
Okay. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate you. Wow. Some compelling stuff we got. Let's read some supers. CJ in Seattle, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. Longtime viewer and absolutely love your content. You taught me a ton about philosophy, and I love your take on the good life and eudaimonia and ethics. Just started reading Meditations too by Marcus Aurelius. Thank you. Yeah, I think that there's a lot of different ways that people get. Well, okay, I think people are interested in a lot of different philosophical projects. I definitely think that I don't know. I think that virtue ethics, like the beauty of virtue ethics, is that it's supposed to be a view about how you should be living your life. That it's supposed to tell you what a good life consists in, as opposed to like the utilitarians who are like standing back with like their calculator, calculating utility, and like the deontologists who are like going through and figuring out whether or not there's like a contradiction. You know, virtue ethics is telling you this is your life and this is how you should live it. And I think that there's something to that. The not operator, thanks so much for super chat. Allah isn't real. Appreciate that. Dr. Fudge, thanks so much for super chat. Banjo guy converted me. Yeah, hail Banjo guy. We miss him. It was foretold. It was foretold by the ages that Banjo guy would return. Truly, I tell you, some of you standing here will not taste death until Banjo guy returns. Patch Grabber, thanks so much for super chat. Identical twins have different fingerprints. Events in the womb, like positioning, pressure on fingers, etc., cause random changes. That seems plausible. But it's also good info. Dr. Fudge, thanks so much for super chat. You just had to explain the water cycle to a 19-year-old. This is our education system at work. We are cooked. True. Truly. I don't know, man. I'm sure that there's like a lot I could say about this, but I just think some people should just be held back sometimes. You know, if you fail all the shit, you know, you just shouldn't move to the next grade. That's my hot take. I know parents disagree with that. You know, I just think that if your kid shits the bed, that they should probably be held back for a year such that they can try again next year. Constantine, thanks so much for the super chat. Rip Darwin, you would have loved TikTok. True. God, he would have further came to the belief that God doesn't exist via the horrors that he's subjected to. Pecho, thank you so much for the super chat. You stance independently and intersubjectively look nothing like Jordan Peterson. That's what I was saying. I kind of have no idea. The similarity there. Oh, it was on Venmo? Oh, yeah. Thank you so much for the Venmo. I appreciate that. I especially appreciate it because, you know, the Venmos are the ones that I get to keep 100% of. YouTube takes 30%. TikTok takes like 50%. But, you know, the Venmos, that's 100% to me. So I really appreciate that. If you want to make sure that your super chat, your support for the stream goes and has like the strongest impact per dollar, the Venmo and the Cash App are the way to go. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Big W. Sam Buandana, thanks so much for super chat. You giving in-depth explanations for everything he asked, and his only response being because God wanted it. Yet in the end, you're the one who believes in nothing. Pardon? The beard is awesome, by the way. Thanks. I appreciate that. Synthwave Ash, thank you so much for the 5 tier 1 subs on Twitch. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Big W, Synthwave Ash. Grimlock, thank you so much for the $10 on Cash App, a donation to quench your hydration. I drank my entire fucking water bottle full of water like 2 hours ago. I filled it up and drank like all of it. But where did the water come from? True. All right. If you're in that guest request box, I have a couple of stipulations for what I ask you to be. I ask that you be 18 or older, TikTok terms of service, no exceptions. I also ask that you be either a Christian, Muslim, Jewish, or a deist would be fine as well. But the hard line that I draw is that you need to think that there's like this mind that's separate from the universe that created the universe, like an ultimate mind, source of everything else. If you don't believe in that, don't request to join. And it would be cool if you had some reason to think that God exists that isn't like some personal experience you had. You know, that would be stellar. But with that, I'll just try to go in order on the list. Hey, how's it going?
Hello, hello.
Yep. How old are you?
I'm 23.
And what religion?
Protestant Christian.
Yep. What
And
makes
you?
you think that God exists? Did you ask me? I'm an atheist.
Yeah, it was a joke.
Okay.
Wait, what did you say?
Yeah. What makes you think that God exists?
I mean, I did my research. I read the Bible.
What sort of evidence do you think?
But you're doing this statement here because the way I see it is, if God isn't real or not, it doesn't really impact my life. So you're the one you should make the argument, right? So why isn't God real? And what benefit does it have to you if God isn't real?
Yeah, I think the benefit is really easy. It's true. I would waste my life if I dedicated my entire life to false things, even if it leads you to behave in ways that are good or form communities that you find valuable, you know, connect with people in
But you can
ways
be
that are
believing,
important to
don't
you.
do the
You know,
opposite.
even if it leads you to do all of these things, it's still going to be all based ultimately on a falsehood that you lived a life of delusion. So that's why it matters if God exists or not. And sure, I'm happy to give you some argument that God doesn't exist. Do you think God is all good and all powerful?
I believe he's all powerful.
Do you think he's all
And I
good?
believe good is something that we define. We have our own definition of that. Because you mean, I saw earlier arguments and you were just like, well, God did this and this was a bad thing God did. But this is something we judge. We give the judgment that it's bad or not.
So you don't
Do
think God
you-
is like perfectly just or that he's righteous?
In his own way. In his own way.
Okay. I don't know. Is he like eternal?
Eternal meaning
That he
like
exists,
before-
but he can't begin to exist or end existence? That he just always
Yeah.
exists?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think that God has the power to do impossible things?
Absolutely. I mean,
Oh,
do you
okay.
think resurrecting a man, or I mean, depending on what religion that's like Jesus is God, so but whatever. Like he resurrected Jesus, don't you think that's a wonder? That's impossible?
It would be violation of a law of physics. I don't think it would be a violation of laws of logic, though. Like, I don't think that there's
Yeah,
like a
but-
contradiction involved there. But you're saying that God can do like contradictions? Because if that's what you think, then your belief is like way easier to disprove. Your belief is false just because there's contradictions in it. You think it's possible for God to make the sun both exist and not exist at the exact same time.
I mean, if you want to, why would you do that? Maybe to convince, like, would you even be able, like, what does God have to do in order to convince you that, yeah, he's real?
Are you asking me like what it would take?
Yeah.
This doesn't really
Yeah,
seem
no,
to
but,
engage
like,
with the
what would you even
argument. Like,
believe?
why are
Like,
we?
what does it even take for you
Is
to
there
believe it?
some
Like,
reason why we're moving away from the fact that your view affirms contradictions?
how does it? If
You think
what
it's
did you say?
possible for the sun to both exist and not exist?
In what context? Like right now,
Yeah,
the
if
sun exists,
God-
and now it's gone. Now it's this.
If
now
God
it's
uses
gone.
his
Like this.
power to make the sun both exist and not exist at the exact same time, you would think that the sun both exists and doesn't exist.
Because I said he resurrected a man?
Because you said that he can do the impossible.
Yeah, I feel like resurrecting a man sounds impossible to me.
So he can do contradictions. So then your view is contradictions.
But how does that even disprove God?
Because contradictions are
What is
false.
the contradiction here? What is the
Yeah, you think it's
contradiction?
possible for the sun to both exist and not exist? The sun can both exist and not exist if God
Isn't this like the
willed
super
for the
state or
sun to
whatever?
both exist and not exist. No? These aren't
But in what
superpositions.
context? In what context? Like
You
I don't
think
even
God
get the argument you're trying to
can
make.
will for the sun to both exist and not exist at the exact same time. So then, he can do that, and then the sun would both exist and not exist. So it's possible for the sun to both exist and not exist, apparently. It's a contradiction.
But how are we viewing that? Like, are we able to measure that? How is it affecting us?
We don't need to
And
be
how
able to
is a
measure
man
it for it to still be a
getting back to life
contradiction.
not a bigger contradiction?
I don't think that there's a contradiction inherent to the proposition somebody rose from the dead. Are you also in the bath? What the fuck? This can't be happening.
Excuse me?
Are you in the bath too, like the last guy, or like 2 guys ago?
I'm not in the bathroom.
Okay.
I'm not in the toilet.
Okay. You're not on the toilet?
What were you saying?
Wait, are you
'Cause I
on
was
the
still trying to
toilet, or like
understand
what's
the arguments.
this?
I was
What's
still-
like the water in the background?
Is it the rain? Hold on. I have to maybe close the window. Oh no, it's broke a little bit. Fuck. Is it better
Hmm.
now?
Maybe it's fine. I don't know, man. Okay. Nope. I'm not gonna get gaslit. All right. Hey, how's it
Well,
going?
hello. I've been waiting patiently, sir. How are you doing today?
Yep, doing well. How
I'm
old are
Dakota.
you?
Gotcha. I'm 31.
And what religion?
I'm a Messianic Jew. I kind of, I just don't. I'm kind of like atheist in this sort of way, is that I don't like titles, but I would say that's the closest to what I believe. So I believe in the Messiah. I just use Hebrew terms, and I study a lot of Hebrew and Greek.
Okay. So you do believe that the Bible is true, though, right?
I don't believe it's 100% accurate, but I believe that most of it is true. Yes.
Okay, sure. What makes you think that God exists?
Well, if you don't mind, real quick, I just wanted to ask you real quick. This is kind of random, but what's your age?
I'm 25.
25, younger than I thought. You got an old soul. Okay. I wanted to just touch on some things that you had said, because I feel like you try to be articulate, and I'm not saying that you aren't, because in a lot of ways you are, but you also have a lot of people come in here that aren't articulate, or they're nervous, and then they struggle to answer basic questions.
Sure.
And then you say some things that are highly not intellectual, and I'll just walk some of those with you.
Yeah, please.
And I got them quoted here because I got a notepad and pen like you.
Okay.
Okay, that's how you do it, right? Okay. So you said this was, and again, I know you're not perfect either, and I know you're also just kind of, going with the flow or whatever, but you were mentioning where Yeshua said, do to others as you would have them do to you. But then you said to that gentleman, you said, well, would you, basically, if you wanted to kill yourself or whatever, right?
If
that
you want
statement
somebody to come and kill you, should you go and kill
Yeah.
other people under the golden rule?
Right. But I mean, if you're being articulate, you obviously know that Yeshua was meaning, Yeshua was being wise when he was saying that. And that's wisdom, because you as an articulate man should know what that means. That means, hey, in other words, what you're doing or how you'd like to be treated, it's a common rule in America, even put aside religion. So I don't feel like it's a dumb thing to say, because I feel like it's very articulate. It's just a way of saying, hey, if you want to be treated nice, be nice, right?
So the problem is that that's incomplete. That's kind of what the counterexample is meant to demonstrate, is that there are exceptions to this, that there are this is an underdeveloped moral philosophy because it has absurd implications that if what Jesus says is in everything do to others as you would have them do to you, if what you want others to do is kill
Well, what
you,
kind of
then you should go
intelligent
around killing
person
other people,
would
which is why it's an
would
absurd ethical
but what kind of
principle and
person
it
would
requires like a
like
bit more refinement.
well, I don't think so because Yeshua number one spoke in parables because people like you, the scribes and the Pharisees that would speak at Yeshua and he was very witty and he could knock him right back. And if Yeshua was here today, he'd probably spin you for a loop on Hebrew.
Sure.
But
I'm sure.
right,
I'm
I
sure.
mean, come on. I mean, if even if he wasn't the Messiah, right? If he was a historical person and we knew he existed, which by the way, for years, and I can prove this to you, and I can give you
Well,
links.
wait, sorry. How would that not
But yeah,
follow?
yeah,
I mean,
let's
if
not
he
let's not get off topic.
if he
That's what I'm saying.
misspoke or if he was like vague, you can just say that what he said isn't fully accurate.
Yeah, well, it's not that it's not fully accurate. It's kind of like giving somebody the answer, and if they're so unintelligent to sit there like you did and sit there and say, which you're not doing it for that. It's not because you're not intelligent or articulate. It's because you are doing it because you're trying to be a smart aleck, right? I get that. I'm just touching on it, right?
Okay.
Or no? Or do you really
That's
mean
like an
that?
excellent piece
No,
of
no, I'm sorry.
psychoanalysis, like an
I'm
excellent piece
sorry.
of well poisoning.
Well,
No, it's
did you really
okay.
mean that? No, was that really? I'm sorry. I'm
I
apologizing.
don't think
Did
that
you
that's
really mean
accurate
that?
at all.
You really meant what you said
When I said what? Yeah.
about
Yeah, it's like a
about
common practice in ethical philosophy that you point out the absurd implications of a system to critique it. That if a system entails that you would have an obligation to do this absurd thing or that you should do this absurd thing that you definitely shouldn't do, well, then that's a good reason to think that the system is false.
Well, I don't
In the
think
same
that
way, like if
that's
somebody said, we should just maximize pleasure, and then somebody comes up to them and says, well, what if in maximizing pleasure, it brought you maximum pleasure to like, I don't know,
that's
like torture babies for fun, so much pleasure that it like outweighed their suffering by like a
well, that's
ton.
what an immoral
That would
person
be
with
a
no
that would be a
moral or no.
hugely absurd position to commit yourself to.
But that's
Similarly,
what
if you're
but
saying
only a
that you should
person with
always do to others as you want others
yeah.
to do to you, if what you want others to do to you is to kill
That's
you,
not you're
then the
stating it wrong.
implication is that
It's
you should do
do
that to
to
them, that you
others
should kill
as you would
others.
have them do to you.
Yes.
In other
So
words,
if you want them to kill you, you should go and kill them.
I don't know that anybody would take it that way, but let's move on from that.
Well,
The next
okay,
thing
wait,
would
you
be
you were that was supposed to be like the slam dunk for you. That was supposed to be like the
well,
instance
it
of
is a
me
slam dunk
being
because that's
like
just unintelligent. Who would
unintellectual
take
or
who would
something
take
like
it
that,
that way?
intellectually dishonest. It's a
Who would take it?
reductio,
Who would take it that way?
I agree it's
Who
an
would?
absurd conclusion, but unfortunately it just follows from the principle as stated.
I mean, I do
The
understand
principle
your
needs
point
to
of
get
view.
refined.
Your point of view is that if you don't share into detail on something, people can take it out of context.
I'm sorry.
Summarizing.
Can you say that one more time?
Yeah, I can say that again. You're basically what you're saying is if something isn't going into detail or it's not further explained or finished, that somebody could take it out of context.
It's not really my
Correct?
point. My point is just that the moral principle on its own terms has absurd consequences that moral principles further down the line are able to develop and build on. So, for example, Immanuel Kant's categorical imperative that we should treat everybody as an end in and of themselves, basically that we should treat everybody as like their own autonomous individual who has their own goals and hopes and aspirations and freedom to pursue those things. Like we should always treat people in this way that doesn't use them for our goals without any respect for their goals, that we should respect their autonomy. That one establishes both that one, you shouldn't kill yourself, like you shouldn't want others to come and kill you, and two, even if you do, you definitely shouldn't go and kill others.
Well, also, are you taken out of context too? Because that's where we have to look at languages, right? And that's why it's important to study Hebrew and Greek. So when you look at the original Greek to Hebrew translation, it states this: therefore, everything you want people to do for you, you should also do it for them.
Yeah,
So it's
this
also
is the same
and
problem.
yeah, but hold on a minute. Here in America, when we're speaking in English, even me and you right now, I could say something and I could be rhetorical, yes or no.
Yeah, you can say something and be rhetorical, but you
How do you
probably
know that
shouldn't
when
say that
Yeshua
this
wasn't
is the
saying
main
that?
ethical system or this is the main
Yeah,
ethical
but
teaching if you're just being
you're
rhetorical,
interrupting
right? If you
me.
don't mean it
You're interrupting
literally.
me. Are we going
Wait,
to
sorry,
talk
you
back
actually
and forth?
interrupted me. I don't know if you're aware
Go
of
ahead.
that.
Well, I'll
You
let you
said,
finish.
can it be rhetorical? And then I said, yes, it can be rhetorical, but You know, if
Go
that's your
ahead.
main ethical
finish.
principle, you should probably state it literally and clearly. You know, otherwise it's ambiguous what you believe.
Well, mankind said that that was the main principle. Yeshua never said that.
Does he not in Matthew 7:12? And everything due to others as you would have them do to you, for this is the law and the prophets.
He was saying a summary of the Torah, which is the 5 books of Moses. He
Mhm.
was saying if you
Yep.
summarize it, basically what it's telling you is you should love one another.
Yep. Yeah. Well,
No,
sorry, it
look-
doesn't say love one another. It says,
Well,
and
actually,
everything
he
due to
goes
others
into-
as you would have them do to you. And that is the main ethical teaching then.
Well, what's the greatest commandment with the promise?
Isn't it love your God with all your heart, soul, and mind?
That's
And
pretty
then-
close, yeah.
You know, love thy neighbor.
Okay, so but what I'm saying is when I meant rhetorical is how do you know when Yeshua wasn't saying it to the people? How do you know he wasn't saying, he wasn't being, maybe even a little bit of a smart aleck himself, therefore everything you want people to do for you, do it for them too. He's just being simple. What's wrong with that I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't buy the interpretation that this is him being like rhetorical or like speaking like metaphorically. You know, this is a real moral principle that was espoused by lots of cultures at the time, even lots of cultures that he interacted with. They meant it literally. I'm not sure why I would think that he doesn't also mean it literally. You know, if
So you
he
believe
was
Yeshua
unclear
existed?
with what he said, yeah, I do think that he existed. Okay, so
Nice.
then we agree that this is like an absurd ethical teaching because you have like kind of no
I
response.
don't agree that it's absurd ethical teaching. I
Okay,
think
if
it
you
means
want
exactly
somebody to
what it
kill
said.
you, should you go and kill other people?
That's like the worst analogy. I want
Should-
to
should
laugh so
you?
hard, but I feel like we need to move on from this
Can
one
you just
'cause
answer the
it feels
question? Like, should you
don't-
do that?
You're scared a little bit to move to the next.
Should you do
Okay,
that? Just
you
answer
can
the
move it.
question before we move on.
No, you should never kill yourself because you want to be killed.
No,
That
no. If
sounds
you want
crazy.
other people to kill you,
Yeah.
should you go and kill
No.
them? Is that the right thing to do?
No, it's kind of ridiculous.
Okay,
No.
but would that be doing to others what you want them to do to you?
Yes. But
Okay,
that's,
so that
that's
is an
twisting
implication
it.
of your principle then.
I can take anything you say right now and twist it against you.
Okay,
Let's
I
be
clearly
intellectual.
not, frankly.
Let's be intellectual. Let's go to your next statement. Your next statement
Oops.
said, no other animal are we that connected to in DNA. You asked him, give me one, and maybe you knew of more, but you were trying to test him. Okay, let's look at mice, for example. They share, I believe it's 40% of the working gene. Now, I don't know this exactly, and I believe it's
We
something
share like
97.
99% with chimpanzees.
No, 97% of the working genes, but only 40% of the. Help me here. 97% of the working gene, and come on, I'm usually good at this. 40% of the full genomes align, is what it is.
What do you mean?
Okay, so
When you
there's
say
that.
the full genome, what do you mean by that?
That means all together with all the genes of the mice. Like for instance, with apes, I believe that our full genome alignment is I think 98.5%.
You know,
Am I right?
40% is less than 98.5%.
Yeah, absolutely. But you didn't say
How is
less.
this a
you said-
counterexample?
Yeah, and I didn't know if it
I was
and
saying,
that's
like,
why
can
I
you
was
name
asking
one
you.
that's more genetically similar? Mice are just
Yeah,
not more
and-
genetically similar to us than chimpanzees.
No, not more.
You think I was asking like less?
I thought you were asking him, was there any other species that we shared DNA with? I'm so sorry.
No, I wasn't asking like, is there
I
any?
figured you knew that. I thought you were just being like.
That's
again,
not what
rhetorical.
I said.
Sure. Okay. Well, I have it written down here when you said it. And
How
you
about we just
said-
go and watch the replay?
Well, sure.
I don't know. It seems
No,
like
I
the
mean
easiest
that's
solution.
ridiculous. I don't want to go that far.
Well, wait,
But,
I
okay,
want to
well,
go that far, right? It's a
Okay,
factual dispute.
Sure. And then I'll ask you what you said next time to be sure.
Okay.
But go ahead.
Yeah. One sec. Let me pull the replay on up.
Because I believe you also
I'm
said
worried that the audience cycles between us and chimpanzees. Like, for example, we have, we sleep for like,
we animals. Why do you believe we're animals?
what else would we be? Bacteria? Goddamn
Just
plants?
human beings, souls. That's what I
Souls.
believe.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what I believe.
How would you
That was
explain
funny.
all of the similarities, both genetically, but also through like the life cycles between us and chimpanzees? Like for
Um,
example, we have, we sleep for like roughly the same amount of time each night. Our gestational periods are roughly the same length of time. We have all of the same remnants of viruses in our genome. Viruses, they'll leave like little marks in your genome. Sometimes they're called retroviruses. And
Yeah.
we have basically all
Sure.
of the same retroviruses between us and chimpanzees. Keep in mind, these don't do anything. They play zero functional role.
I believe so because I feel like we're just different. Like I feel like
Here's
How
the
would you
part.
explain all the similarities between us? Like why is it the case that we share so many similarities with chimpanzees and with
I mean we
bonobos?
share similarities to a lot of animals. We
Can you
all have
name an
brains.
animal that's even like remotely comparable to like the similarities that we share with chimpanzees and
That's what you
bonobos
said,
I'm
and
just
you
I'm just
can't.
other
saying like
apes?
maybe a
You
chimpanzee.
can. You can say that they're comparable because you can look at 85 to 97% of the working gene, and you can even say 40% of the full genome. Now, again, that's
So then
going
you
to
agree
break
with
down.
me. You agree with my point. You thought it was so stupid. You thought I was being so silly, but you agree with it.
No, I didn't think you were being stupid.
Then why'd you bring
I
it
thought
up?
maybe you were being rhetorical.
It's not even false, right? Like it's literally just true. Maybe you just misheard.
Well, it's not true because you just said there's no other species that is comparable to the ape. That's not true. I can name one right
yeah,
now. Ready?
name a species that is comparable in its level
Lemur.
of genetic similarity.
Lemur.
Yeah, wait, which one do you think are more genetically similar to, lemur or the
Well, that's
other apes like
actually.
chimpanzees?
I'm actually glad that you asked that. I believe it's lemurs were roughly 96%. So would you
and
call
what's
that
our
comparable?
similarity to chimpanzee?
I believe it's 98, but you said
Oh,
comparable.
I'm sorry. And is 96? Gosh, which one is 98 or 96 bigger?
Do you like dictionaries?
Not really.
Okay, well, do you know the definition for comparable?
Comparable. I don't know, like comparable. But
Well,
this
you
is just a
used the words,
demonstration of my point.
Hold on a minute. Wait a minute. No, you said you want to be on point. Let's be on
Yeah.
point.
Wait. By the way,
You
this is
used
like
the
my
word
exact point that
specifically
indeed we
comparable.
do come from,
Why are you using
apes,
words you
and
don't
that
know
we.
the definitions for?
Whoa! Let's just calm down there. It sounds like you really like dictionaries.
I do.
Okay.
Because
I
I
can
like
grant
words,
that.
because if we don't know the meanings of them, then we cannot understand or
Wait,
comprehend
but
what
do
we're
you
talking
disagree with
about.
that point that like we come from, we share common ancestors with them, and that's why we share so many similarities? Like the only other thing that you can
I 100%
mention is like
believe that
a
we're an
lemur, which is
ancestor
like
of the
literally only one
I'm
step
not arguing.
disconnected.
Okay, you're misunderstanding me. I don't argue that we're ancestors of the ape.
You don't. Okay, sure. Then I'm not sure why you're bringing it
No,
up.
because let's stick to the facts. You said the word comparable. Write it down. You got your notepad and pen?
Yep.
Comparable means similar enough to be compared or judged against something else. So if we look at the lemur, it's a different species. It is not an ape. It's what, a monkey? Okay. It's a 96% compared to 98.5%.
What's the
Now,
source
is
that we
that
share
not
96 with lemurs?
anywhere? Google it right now.
Okay, I
Pull up
googled it
on
right now.
any-
It's not. Apparently, it's like 90%.
Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Let me give you the link.
Oof. Awkward.
Oh, come on. I got you. Trust me. I'm pretty good at this. It's 90 to 96%, but that's just
yeah.
like
Where's
saying,
the 96% coming from?
let me pull up a link here so that I can get it for you. What would you call a good academic, like,
I
let's
don't know. Like let's
American
get
Museum-
NIH.
American Museum of Natural History. How about that?
Can we get like NIH, like a study?
Well, I mean, the American Museum of Natural History isn't good enough?
I'd prefer like an NIH study.
Sure.
Otherwise, I mean, I have this. One sec.
Yeah, here's one. It's an NIH PubMed study. Analysts of primate genetic variation, human, chimpanzee, baboon, and lemur. They're all right here. Do you want that link?
Oh wait, sorry. Wait, what is it?
So it's got one for all of them on here, but it
But
shows
what's
lemurs
the
96%.
site? What's the source? Because I'm looking at one from NIH, and it's oh gosh, not looking good.
Let me validate this link to be sure that this
Well, I
is.
just want to know, like, what's the?
It's National
website?
Institute of Health.
Okay, yeah, NIH. Yeah, sure, go for it.
Let me just scroll. to the exact spot.
It's so cool, dude. We got like a real deal, a real life pedant.
Well, that's the whole thing is that I feel bad.
It's actually not.
Well, the
It's
thing.
actually not like a spot, because a spot would be like singular dimensional, but what you're looking at is a screen that involves like 2 dimensions, so that's more than a point. I don't think it's accurate to describe that as a spot, literally speaking.
It's 96. It's 90 to 96%.
What's the source?
It's PU. It's PubMed.ncbi.
What's the article name?
It's the National Library of Medicine. It is analysis of primate genomic variation.
Analysis?
Yeah. Analysis of primate
It's
variation.
analysis. Say it with me. Analysis.
Okay, this is where you try to make me look dumb because you're wrong.
Well, it's
Variation
just
revealed-
we just have to make sure that we're
Well,
being
I'm-
very precise
hold on
with
a minute.
everything that we're saying.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
you
and
value
that's true.
precision. I value precision.
Yeah, but I'm
It's
from the
pronounced
South, so
analysis.
say
I
everything's
think.
fine. Anyway, reveals a repeat-driven expansion of the human genome. Is the
What's
article.
the name of it? I have
Here,
analysis
let
of
me just turn my
primate.
camera. Let me just turn my camera.
You can just
if you
read
don't
the
mind.
name of the article, maybe, or
I just told you that.
okay, what is it?
It's the analysis of primate variation reveals a repeat-driven expansion of the human genome.
Variation reveals.
Yeah, it's by Jilu. It's comparative sequencing program. By
Okay,
Shaheen.
sure. So, yeah. Just go ahead and show your camera.
Yeah.
So you got the charts, because this one looks paywalled as far as I can tell.
Yeah, I got it
Wait,
right here.
yeah. Just turn your camera on. Let's see it.
Can you see it now?
No,
Oh, you can't see my camera?
no.
Oh, save. My bad. Shit. Here you go. Now can you see it?
Yeah. But can you scroll down to like the 96%?
Okay. So let's see.
Oof, awkward.
Why are you saying awkward?
Yeah, it's because it's paywalled, big dog.
What's paywall mean?
The article. Okay, yeah. I think that you probably just don't have the boots for this hike. Could you show me where it says 96%? Actually, wait.
Sure.
Let's get that back up. Yeah, where's the 96%?
Okay, we performed a detailed analysis of both single nucleotide and large insertion deletion events based on large-scale comparison from lemur, baboon, and chimpanzee to human. Using a human genomic reference, optimal global alignments were constructed from large genomic sequence clones. These alignments were examined for the pattern frequency. Where's the number? Rates of... They vary radically among different primate lineages. These differences have led to a 15 to 20% expansion of human genome size over the last 50 million years of primate evolution. 90% of it due to new, I don't even know that word, insertions compared.
Retroposon.
So I don't know. This is probably why it
So
says
it-
90
so it
to
doesn't-
96%.
It doesn't say 96% here. So this study just proved my point, apparently.
Okay, let's see. Lemur is how
That's
much
awkward. Wait, so we would agree that
DNA
your source didn't prove your point, right?
to human genome.
Oof,
I
awkward.
said 90 to 96%, and I know that I'm right.
Okay. Yeah, it's between 0 and 100%. So I know I'm right. In fact, I dare wager it's between 1 and 100%. So I know I'm right.
Okay, but the word you used was comparable.
What's
Is
the
that-
criteria for comparable? I think that
That's what I
the
was just gonna get into.
comparability of 90% compared to, I don't know, let's get the exact. What percent of DNA do we share with chimpanzees? 98.8%. I think the difference of 1.2% compared to the difference of 10%, it's like an entire order of magnitude difference.
Then you have to look at the definition for the world. Comparable means similar enough to be compared or judged
Do you think
against.
that things that are entire orders of magnitude separated are comparable?
Well, I think comparable means that if it's close enough, it's not the cigar, but it's close.
Yeah, I don't think it's close enough.
That's what it means. I've got the definition.
I don't think
right
that
in front of me.
something, well, yeah, I agree that it means that it's like if it's close
Similar.
enough. I'm telling you
Similar.
that I don't think
Are
that
you saying
their genome is close
1.5%
enough to be
different?
comparable
Is
to that of the chimpanzee because it's
you
like an
just 'cause
entire
you don't
order
wanna
of
look-
magnitude
they're
different.
literally a primate. How are they not similar?
I agree.
Now you're saying a
I
coyote
agree
and
they're
a
a
dog are not
primate.
similar?
We're talking about whether or not 90% is similar
Let me
enough
ask you a
to
question.
98.8%.
And here's
And
my
I
question
don't
to
think
you.
so.
Is a coyote and a dog similar?
Yeah, there are similarities between them.
They're
I don't know
both
about their
canines.
genome.
They're both canines, though, but they're not. I bet you their DNA is as far as apart as the lemur and the ape.
Yeah,
How
specifically
much
we're
you wanna
talking
bet?
about how comparable they are compared to other
Sure.
species.
And that's why I'm asking
in
you.
terms
So
of like
you're
the
saying,
level of DNA. So it sounds
Right,
like
so
you
you-
were trying to shift the
you went-
goalpost away from the God debate, and then you still missed after you shift the goalpost.
no, I
You had
haven't.
to shift it to
because you-
DNA, and now you have to
You're saying you're
put like the
intellectual.
DNA like under the rugs. I've never claimed that I'm intellectual. Another
Okay, well,
mischaracterization.
you treat people who come into your life, you should treat them with respect. And that was a young man that come in here, and I know he doesn't believe what you believe, and I know that I don't believe what you believe, but you know that you could have been a little bit fair with him. And when you come on here,
How was I unfair to
you're
him?
not- well, because I mean, I don't think the guy was stupid, okay, but he was
I think the
obviously
guy
not
was
very-
stupid.
Okay, well, I don't think he was stupid, but he wasn't very smart either. And that's why I know that you would say that you have objective morality, but do you? Because, and the next thing I would say is that I understand psychology very well. And if you
I'm
don't
sure.
believe in this God, how come every time you go to speak about God, not when you're talking about everything else about God is good, but when you go to refer to God, you cuss, you get angry. You're angry.
Do I?
You're angry at God. You're atheist not because you don't believe
Oh, I don't think
or
I'm
because
angry
of
at God.
evidence, because you're angry. Then why
I'm
do you
not
cuss
angry.
and why are you so mad?
Do you think between the two of us, I'm the one that sounds mad?
Well, you tell me why. Do you
You
treat your
sound like
friends
you're
like that?
seething.
Would you treat your friend like that?
Like
Yes
what?
or no? Like you treated that young man.
Probably not. I would never be friends with that young man
Why? Because he doesn't believe what you believe.
because
You
he's
really are
he's
that
kind of
way?
dumb. I'm friends with a lot of theists, a lot of intelligent theists. In fact, I admire a lot of theists, a lot of intelligent theists.
So if somebody's not as smart as you, you wouldn't befriend
If somebody is like perhaps the dumbest person I'll talk to all week, I
them?
probably
But
wouldn't
if
be
you
friends with that
believed
person.
if you believe that what you believe is right, 100% right in your heart, why wouldn't you try to teach him?
I did. And
I
he
know,
didn't
but you
accept
were-
the evidence, he didn't want it.
Sure. Well, I thought you might
Do you
have
have
been different
do you have
about
something
that.
other than like crying or
Oh, me crying? I'm not crying at all.
right now, kind of if I were to like steel man your argument, it goes something like wah, boo-hoo, you should be
I'm not
nicer.
the young man that's unintellectual. I'm the one sitting here who's able to debate you on genomes.
Okay, well, I mean, you clearly weren't, so
Well, yeah, I was right and you were wrong, but you're
what
the
were
host and
what were
you
you
can say
right
that all day
about?
long.
Were you right when you said it was 96% when you had to read the entire abstract, when you stumbled through reading the abstract?
Were you intellectual
And then
when you
it
didn't even know
turns
what
out
the
that it
word
actually
comparable
didn't
meant?
mean 96%.
You don't even know what comparable meant.
I do
Again,
know
you've
what
heard it
comparable
twice.
means.
Give me the
It's just
definition
not a
then
bright
again.
line.
Spit it back to me then. I've given it to you
Comparable,
twice.
it's going to mean something like able to be compared, probably with some degree of accuracy.
Jesus.
Do you
I
think
gave it to you
definitions
twice.
are truth apt?
It's
What
similar
are the
enough to
what are
be
the
compared
truth
or judged against something
conditions?
else.
What are the truth conditions of a definition?
The truth conditions are just like you would say about the Big Bang Theory, which is the closest articulate knowledge we have to the
I think you're
truth.
confused by the question. When I ask about the truth conditions,
Oh, that's what
under
you say
what
every time.
conditions is it accurate to say that this is the true definition of something?
I think it takes.
What
I
needs to
think
be
it's-
true about the world for this to be the true definition?
I guess I would have to return your question, and I would have to say, well, why? I mean, why have definitions then? How would I know what you're talking about, and me and you be able to have the same conversation if we don't have some sort of agreement on the definition?
That's an interesting point because I think that definitions are largely stipulative. I think that
Oh, because
people,
what you believe in
I think that
systemic
you just
racism and
tell
all that too?
people, whoa,
believe in
I don't know why you're,
homosexuality and all of that.
whoa. I'm sorry that the debate went bad for you, friend. I'm
Because
sorry
that's
that you
what
got
the
like
left do.
totally
Because you
folded,
say
like
that you're
utterly shredded.
atheist.
I'm
You're
sorry
not
that the
just
God debate went
atheist.
so bad that you need to run to like an
We haven't even
entire different
debated God
topic.
yet.
That you got
Do you
so
play back your
concussed by
recording?
these basic
Play back your
facts.
recording. When have we talked about God yet?
We talked about the golden rule, or have I slammed you so hard that you have a concussion and you forgot about it?
We discussed one verse of the Bible. How is
Yeah.
that a full
We
discussion
discussed
about God?
religion. We discussed the implication
We
of your
discussed you
ethics.
being unintelligent and not understanding the word comparable.
Based. So based. Yeah, just all over
Would
the
you like
place.
to move on to a real debate, or are you going to
Yeah,
sit here
let's
and
do a
cry?
real debate. What makes you think God exists?
I believe that God exists because of creation, because I look at creation and I'm a developer and I'm also a contractor, and I look at how mankind is and I look how we create things, and I look at the creation of time and I say that there has to be a design behind
You
this.
look
Like
at
most,
the creation of time? How do you look at the creation
I
of
don't
time?
look at creation over time.
Okay, sorry,
I
my bad. I
look at
misheard.
creation. No, it's okay. I look at creation over time and I see a design. So for me, like most biologists, I think you'll look up, and I think most of your biologists and your chemists, most all of them have some sort of belief in God. And that has to do with when you view things. Like for me, I'm a developer. I'm Oracle AI. You can Google me. I develop AI. And I will tell you that being a developer makes you see things from a different point of view. That doesn't mean you're wrong or I'm right, okay? But when you see things from a different standpoint, you can begin to see creation in a special viewpoint. And I know what you're going to say, because if I asked you, have you ever seen something created from nothing? You're going to say, sure, but you're going to say nothing biological, not life, okay? Look at what scientists just did the other day. For the first time, scientists just created life. But you will say, we just haven't discovered that yet. But when it comes to God or anything God, you will not say out of your mouth, we don't know God's real yet because we haven't discovered it yet. But you'll say, we don't know the answer to that yet because it doesn't exist yet. Am I right or am I wrong?
Can
Your
I ask you like a quick question? You say you develop AI.
Yeah.
What's the eigenvalue of an identity matrix that's let's say 2 by 2?
I don't know that answer.
Okay, you're lying. You just lied when you said
No,
that
I'm-
you work on AI. You're full of
Go to
shit.
my
This is like a
profile
basic
right
question.
now. I'm all
It's
over
like a
the
basic
news.
question about
I'm
I don't know linear
everywhere.
algebra. This is like the sort of thing that you would know if you actually
That-
develop AI.
That's not true. Python and Java and everything like that, you don't use algebra. I'd never
You
use
don't use
algebra.
you. Okay, yeah, you're for sure lying. All of AI is linear algebra. It's all linear algebra.
Language models, not the development of the architecture.
Okay. So
Sir.
what do you develop? You develop
you're
what?
talking about No, I don't develop language models. I develop the architecture around them.
Okay, which is what? That includes
I
what?
have. Say that again.
That doesn't
which
actually
means what?
include like programming any of like the AI stuff, does it?
So for instance, look at Perplexity Computer. That's a good example. The language model is already developed. The architecture around it is the architecture. I have trained my own model, but I've done that with other people. I was never very good at it, and I had to have help with it.
Wow,
But
it's
the architecture
suspicious
around
your
it,
like
I
utter lack
absolutely
of
coded and
detail.
developed.
When you say the architecture, could you go into a bit of detail on that?
Sure. So every bit of the 1 million lines of code that's in my architecture, that
In your
code does not
architecture? What do you mean in your architecture?
in my back end.
In your back
you have
end?
a-
What do you mean
okay,
in
let me
your
walk-
back end?
Sure. Let me walk you through it as a developer.
Yeah.
You have a front end. That's most of your UI.
Yeah,
and
no, I
things
get
like
that. I get that.
Okay. You have your back end. That's all of your API keys. That's all of your architecture built around whatever you're building. Let's say I was building an application. You have your front end. That's all the stuff you see, like your chat box,
Mhm.
all of
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Your back end is the architecture that develops everything.
Yeah, and where would the
makes
linear
everything simple.
algebra for the AI be? Would that be front end or back
That
end?
would be in well, you wouldn't have that. That would be in the link.
Yeah, there would
You're-
be no linear algebra
really-
in your
on
artificial
a minute.
intelligence. It would be
You're
nowhere.
really trying to act like everybody's here trying to act like they.
I'm a
Google me,
software
bro.
engineer,
You
you
have
fucking
a-
moron.
Well, you look like an idiot because you know that an LLM is where you would use that, not in the architecture around.
AI,
The AI.
all AI
Yeah.
incorporates linear algebra. It's the foundation of
The
artificial
language
intelligence.
model.
It's the,
The language
foundation of
model.
large learning models.
Okay, you're a software engineer. What's an autodev?
What's an autodev? I don't know what the fuck an autodev is.
Okay, same thing. You don't. You're a software
Is
engineer. You
that,
don't know what an
what
autodev
is that? Is that actually no, yeah, I don't know what an autodev is. They've never
You
come
really
up.
don't know what an autodev is?
Nope, it's never come up.
Okay, so see, it's the same thing with me. Okay, now I know that language models do when you're training a language model at a data center and you're using H200s,
You mean
B300s.
auto.dev, the specific
No,
thing?
not auto.dev. And autodev is it's a slang engineer term for a system that works itself.
Okay. I'm looking for it. Maybe that's
So,
true.
yeah. So AutoDev
It
is
doesn't
like
appear on the internet though.
it's giving the AI ability to, let's say, rewrite its own code.
When
So
I-
an AutoDev
So
an auto an
let's go ahead and
AutoDev can,
show. When I search
an AutoDev
AutoDev,
can-
this is what comes
an
up. You know, we
an
got like
AutoDev can
some
upgrade
random like GitHub. We got. It kind of seems like this is like, you know, not a very well established
yeah,
thing.
I'll pull it up for you.
Yeah, please.
It is a widely recognized or standardized tool, framework, or concept called AutoDev in mainstream AI or technology discussions. Would you like me to turn on my camera?
Sure, go for it.
Yeah, sure. Let me do that for you, bud. You're such a dick. Okay? What is AutoDev? It is a widely recognized, Mr. Engineer, standardized framework or
I
concept.
think it's pronounced
Called-
standardized.
Standardized tool, framework, or concept called AutoDev in mainstream AI or technology discussions. So now are you going to say you're wrong?
Is
And
an
I'm right?
automated AI-driven software development framework created by researchers at Microsoft. It uses autonomous AI agents to plan and execute
Exactly what I
complex
just
software
told you.
engineering tasks such as editing files. Wow, this is like when
Yeah,
you look at the sources, it's not even like Wikipedia. It's like /blog and arxiv.
So you're right. I just picked out the most random blog that I could out of the only one blog that existed, and I'm the only one
Well,
who knows
wait,
about it.
but what sources is your query citing? Is it not just this Dell
GitHub
blog?
Copilot, Amazon Code Whisper, Automed DevOps Tools, AutoDev by Microsoft Research, Hypothetical Auto Upgrading IA, which is what I was referring to, which is what, if you would have listened to
Suspiciously
me,
no Wikipedia page. It's
It's-
almost like it's like a fairly niche tool. You know, if it was something like Docker or like
so
I
why
don't
does
know,
Google say
Kubernetes,
it's widely recognized?
widely recognized by who? Who's making that claim?
I'm on.
What does it mean for software to be
You're right.
widely
I'm on Mac.
recognized?
I'm on Mac, so I'm using Safari.
Okay.
My bad.
What does it mean for it to be widely recognized?
Well, that would have to mean that more than one person or quite a few people know about it.
Okay, I agree. More than one person probably knows about it.
Okay,
My
so
claim
then
is that
why are
it's
you
like quite
arguing with me
niche
about it?
because it's quite niche, obviously.
Yeah, you have to kind of
But
be in.
Listen,
the
like I
AI
know that
world
you
to
got
know it.
caught lying about working on AI. You tried to wheel out your credentials. It turns
Google
out that
me.
you don't work on it.
Google me.
Yeah, what do I
Google
Google?
me.
Oracle
Right now,
by
Dakota
Delphi
Stewart-
Labs.
Dakota Stewart, Oracle AI, and while you're at it,
Dakota Stewart.
Oracle AI. Say Dakota Stewart, Oracle AI. And then when you do it,
Oracle AI.
let all the people see my face so that you can match it to the article by Utah Tech Buzz News.
That's so interesting that it's these like super niche websites and it's like nowhere I don't know, like for example, it's not like you have like a page on like Oracle's website. It's
What are you talking about? Brother, look in front of you.
Oh no shot, dude. This is you shouldn't have shared this. You're like a
Are you-
lol cow. This is actually fantastic. This is so much better
Yeah.
than I thought it'd be.
Yeah, I
Dakota
mean,
Stewart says he built a conscious AI alone in Nampa, Idaho, with no
That's
investors.
only one of my
Here's
many
what
articles,
we found.
brother.
Idaho entrepreneur Dakota Stewart, 30, has built a self-described conscious AI. Self-described by who?
22 cognitive system, yeah.
What does it mean to have 22 cognitive subsystems?
So I'd love to walk you through this. Can I see your face while I do it?
Yeah, go for it. From the person
on,
who
let-
doesn't
let
know the
me-
first
let-
thing about
let-
linear
let-
algebra.
Let me explain to you why.
Wait,
what
could you
I
actually
did-
tell us? Could you tell us what the identity matrix is for like, let's say 2 by 2? Like, what would a 2 by 2 identity matrix be?
That's basic algebra. What I want to
so
get
what would
into
it
is the
be?
22 cognitive systems.
You
since
should
you
know
wanna about it
this.
so much. I'm not going to let you try to dumb me down in front of these people. First of all, I
You're
didn't
dumbing
exist.
yourself
Now
down.
you found.
You shouldn't have
Now
made
you
these
found me on
claims.
Google. Now you found me on Google, and now I do exist. But I didn't exist. I don't own Delphi Labs.
Oh no, I bit
now
off
I
more
do.
than I can chew. That face
well,
when
I mean,
you're
hell, brother, I just got
unable to
started. I
actually
just
like
launched 6
explain the
months
first
ago.
thing about your project.
Well,
Bro,
how,
when
how
you
about we
didn't
call that guy on the
participate to
phone?
the
Hold on a
when you
minute.
didn't contribute to the group project, but you still have to be up there in the presentation.
Wait a minute. I didn't say I created that entire architecture. The 22 cognitive system is not the language model. You dummy, because you're not
What
even
does
a
it
soft-
mean to say
said
that you
you're an
created
engineer.
the architecture? What does that mean? What language?
22
Easy question. What language did you code it in?
Python.
Python.
Well,
sure.
I'm sorry. I do a little bit of fast API and Python.
Sure. What's your I don't know, what are your favorite Python tools?
Well, I like Versus Code used to be my favorite, but now I just love working.
Like, what's
right-
your I don't know. Like, let's say you're going to like import some things. What are you importing?
What do you mean?
What libraries do you use
I
in
use
your code project? What libraries did you use?
I use Versus Code, all the libraries that I hooked up to this AI to make it as good as it is. And
Wait,
if you
sorry.
weren't such a jerk,
Oh my god. Okay, you're a fucking liar.
liar.
You don't even understand the question.
You just literally just said, "What do you import libraries?"
Which libraries did you import?
I didn't really use any libraries. The libraries that I did hook up,
You didn't
AI
use
to-
any library? No libraries?
What do you mean by what?
Zero?
What libraries?
Holy
do you
shit,
mean?
dude. This guy's out here. He's like fucking he's like goddamn fucking Doctor Strange.
You're
he's like
laughing while
twisting
meanwhile,
reality
look at your
around him.
poor
He's
ass.
coding it from
Look
the
at your
bottom
poor
up,
ass
dude.
with
He's
your
coding
big
it like
bagged eyes.
he's coding it like
Meanwhile, I done
assembly
s-
language. Holy
Look
shit.
at how much money I've made off Oracle AI, and
That's
look at you.
So
6
funny,
months,
dude.
and I've already pulled in $1 million.
You
What
are a
have your ass done?
liar. You're a liar.
No, you're a liar. You don't even know anything about engineering. You didn't even know what an autodev is. And you're
Yeah,
laughing.
sorry. Could you
How
find me
many-
like a
how many
Wikipedia
parameters-
page for?
how
Oh,
many
he's so mad.
parameters-
The
Mr.
reason why he's getting
Engineer,
upset. The
Mr.
reason why he's getting
Engineer,
upset. The
well,
reason
answer
why
a
he's
basic
getting
question. You said
upset
basic
is
question.
because we got him.
No, you got bagged eyes from where you can't even sleep. You've got no money. You're broke as fuck.
That's true. I do have bagged eyes because I can't sleep. I
Yeah,
don't know if
because you
those
don't
other
believe in
things
a
are
God.
true.
Now let me ask you a question. How many parameters are in a language model? On
Depends
average.
on the model.
Okay, how many parameters enter in a model the size of, let's say, Claude by Anthropic?
Anthropic? Oh, I don't even
Sure,
know.
but-
It would be just some huge quantity and growing with every single model.
Just
I don't
guess,
know.
but you're an
Maybe I'd-
engineer.
if I were to guess, maybe we'd put it in like the billions, trillions range.
That's a wide gap right there, billions to trillions.
What is it?
It's in the billions, but you're saying billions to
Sure,
trillions.
yeah,
That's not
billions
very good.
going towards trillions. Wow, look at that.
So, and then you're saying, I don't even know, but you can literally import straight from Versus Code.
You
to
don't even
GitHub
know what a
with
library
zero
is.
libraries.
You're a liar.
I
This
don't.
is like-
I didn't have
this
to
is
use
like
any libraries when coding my code.
programming. That's the biggest lie you've told. That's like nonsense. That's nonsensical. When I had to do projects in college, you'd have to import
Things have
libraries.
changed. They have better tools now.
So could you tell me, for example, I don't know, are you familiar with I don't know, what's a good one?
Let me ask you a question. What's a circular import?
A circular import?
Sure.
I have no idea.
This is a third grade coding question.
I
What
don't know what
is
a circular import is.
But see, you're
let's find
questioning me
out.
on things, but you don't even know what a circular import is.
Is this just a Python thing?
Yeah, it's just a Python thing. It's
Oh,
simple.
okay. I code in Java. If you want to ask me Java questions,
Oh, okay. So then why are you being that way with me? We have differences.
because you're a liar, because you lied. You said
So then
that
how
your
would I know what a
project
circular import
involved
is?
0 libraries, not
Hold on a
one,
minute.
not a
I didn't
single
say it
library.
didn't. Hold on a minute. Do not twist what I said. I didn't say. I
You
said
said you
I didn't
coded it
hardly
with no
use any
libraries.
libraries. The libraries I hooked my
Name
AI
2
to.
Java libraries. Go ahead.
Oh,
Or
God,
no,
I
sorry,
don't know
not Java
any
libraries.
Java.
Name 2 Python libraries. You're a
By
liar.
library,
You
mean
are
the
a liar.
You're talking about coding libraries?
Yeah.
I don't use any of them. I never used any.
Yeah,
of them.
you're a liar. You're lying.
No, you're a liar.
This is like a humiliating lie to tell. This is like
What's humiliating is that you don't know
this is
third grade
okay.
Python.
I'm struggling to like convey to somebody. This is like saying like you built your house without you like built your house like molecule at a time. Like you built your house out of atoms. You didn't use like bricks and you didn't use wood and you didn't use any like fabricated components to build your house. You just fucking got
That's
in
not
there
true.
at the microscopic level and fucking arranged like
Well, I
this
don't
is like the
understand your
equivalent of what
terminology.
you're
Are you
telling me.
talking
You're telling
about-
me that you
are you talking
built
about
your house
NumPy,
like atom
pandas?
by atom. Like it's just an absurd lie.
He's
Like,
talking about
it just
D-
couldn't
hold on a
possibly
minute, hold
be
on a
true.
minute.
It's like gibberish.
No, are you talking about Django?
Django? Is that a library
Yeah.
in Python?
No, that would be Java, wouldn't it? Google it.
I've never used Django. What does it
Google
do?
it. It's a library.
What does it do?
Isn't it?
Yeah, but what does it do?
I don't
When
use
would
Java.
you use it?
But I would use NumPy,
You don't use
and I
Python
would use that
either.
for
Oh,
transformers.
yeah, now he has one because he just Googled it.
No, hold on a minute. I'll show you my
And what's
camera.
your favorite thing to do in NumPy?
It's not a favorite thing to do in NumPy, you numbnut. You can draw from it. For instance, you would draw a transformer from NumPy.
You draw a
wanna Google that one?
transformer. Yeah, what's a
Yeah,
transformer?
a transformer
Explain
is
transformers
essentially,
to us.
got you. So a transformer is essentially a language model with no knowledge. So a language model is trained on GPUs and it's trained over
What type
time.
of mathematical object is it?
So I'll give you, for instance, whenever the way it works in layman's terms is you feed it an answer, a right answer and a wrong answer. And that's basically those calculations is what makes it essentially learn over time. You feed it a right answer, you feed it a wrong answer. When it gets it right, it basically earns a token. When it doesn't, it doesn't.
So,
Okay, NumPy.
okay, yeah, I wanted to, sure.
Well,
Profound
Google
stuff.
it. Google it and see if I'm right.
So,
No,
what's the loss
NumPy is for
function?
pulling transformers is what I would use.
Yeah, wait, let's go into more of like the technical stuff of a transformer. What's a loss function?
A loss function. Well, are we talking Hugging Face transformers or like PyTorch or what?
Holy fucking shit, dude. You're literally Googling in real time.
Dude, I'm not Googling in real
Then
time. Why are you
turn your
saying?
camera on and show your computer. Fucking
I'll literally show you. Dude,
decimated.
the only thing that I still have on is the thing
Decimated.
about AutoDev.
Decimated.
Hold on. Let me.
Yeah, oh
I hit
gosh, let
send.
me quickly close my tabs.
You're only saying that because you look stupid.
Wait, pull up your history.
Sorry. Yeah, I will actually. I love you, man. Let's do it. Hold on. Let me go back over to the right tab before you say that.
Wait, can we see all the tabs?
Yeah. Hold on. That's it. I got start page and this. That's
Okay,
it.
yeah, but like what about the bar? I know Mac,
That's-
you know, you use Mac because you're like a real deal coder.
Yeah.
But
Let me go
Let's
down
see.
here to Edge. I have Edge and Safari. Edge is
wait,
empty.
can we make it like a bit less shaky? Sure, let's just see your
Yeah.
history.
Oh, of Edge?
Either, both.
Okay. Let's see. So, hold on. Oracle AI, Emily Flix, a homebrew Netflix that I built for my wife.
Wait,
Nothing on this one, but
Wait,
I
do
wasn't
you
on
wanna
this. I
angle
was
up,
on. I
or-
was
okay,
googling
yeah.
on here. I was googling on
wow, what a
Safari.
suspicious non-angle.
Okay. After this, will you stop?
Sure, yeah, we can move to the God topic after this. Okay. Sure.
Small bill, nothing. Okay. Are you happy? Not gonna
Yeah.
move to the Safari browser,
Yeah,
the only
yeah.
other browser I have. Thank you, and which is still pulled up on Google. That's still pulled up on the AutoDev, where I was googling it because you said that it didn't exist. Okay. See, this is where I said AutoDev, and I googled this because I was trying to show you. Okay. Now, do you want me to go to this history? Okay. Safari history. I think this is a private tab.
I'm sure.
Well, hold on a minute. Where's the? This is the way that they did this. Yeah, see, sign in.
Yeah,
but I
I'm
can even
sure.
hit back. Would you like me to hit back or
No,
forward?
no, because
You can
back
see-
wouldn't do it. Back would only work on the same tab if you just close the
Right,
tab.
and forward. And if I
That just
went
takes
back,
you
it would
back
be
to
forward.
where this specific tab was previously.
Okay, so what do you want me to Google?
That's okay. I think the point's been like pretty well proven, but
Yeah,
sure.
the point's been made is that you're unintellectual. I proved you down.
I'm sure
You had
every
your
single
little
person's going to
atheist
come away
crew
with
here.
the exact same impression. You know, Mr. Zero Libraries over here.
Do you want to have an intellectual debate or do you want to argue?
Hey, Daddy,
Go in there, son. Daddy's on the thing.
I can take a shower.
I don't mind if you do, but be good. Go.
Hello,
I love you,
don't
handsome.
imagine no-
Go, baby.
not imagine-
Sorry, my son came in the room.
That's okay.
Okay,
Sure.
do you want to debate God? Because that's what your thing is. God isn't real.
Yeah, let's debate God. Sure. What's your
Okay.
argument for God's existence? Sorry. You said it's the design, it's the creation. So I look around me and I see a lot of things that look not very designed at all. I see things like cancer, which come about via literally like the repair mechanisms that defend against mutations
where
will
you
sometimes
sound
cause
so
cancer.
unintellectual.
You know, all of these different factors
God.
are mutagens. The things that you eat can be mutagens and lead to cancer. The sun can lead to cancer with its UV rays. You
Okay.
know, air quality
all,
can lead to
because
cancer. There's mutagens
don't want-
everywhere. It doesn't look very
Hold on,
designed at all.
We don't want people thinking that I'm Googling. So let's talk
Are you
about stuff.
shirtless?
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, I mean, is that a bad thing on here? I'll just
That's
put my
fine.
face in here. Well, I want people to know that I'm not Googling. So let's talk about what you just said just right there. It was very unintellectual. So you just literally said that I can tell you things that don't look designed. Cancer. Are you freaking kidding me? Do you know that cancer has a cell? Do you know that cancer is specifically designed? And even a biologist will tell you, and a scientist will tell you that cancer is designed. They use the word design, atheists or not, to literally hide in the body. To hide, Google it, to hide in the body. So how is cancer not
Name one.
show design?
Also, I think it's pronounced specifically, but could you name one?
Could I name what?
One of the biologists that would claim that it's designed to hide in the body.
I'm sorry, not biologist, but there's a famous cancer doctor. He's come out with the biggest research right now on cancer. He's the one that spoke on I believe it was with Tucker Carlson
Oh,
about
yeah.
cancer.
I'm sure he's very credible.
Well, he's
What's his
not.
name?
I don't know. I'll have to Google him. I mean, that's the only way I can know his name off the top of my head. Cancer hiding cells in the body. There's a term for it. Give me a second.
Specifically that it's designed is the claim.
Yeah, so cancer cells can hide from the body's immune system using several sophisticated mechanisms. I'm exactly right, and you just seen I wasn't Googling. I'm
What's
not
the
as dumb as you
claim?
think.
I just want the biologist that claims that it was designed to do this.
The claim
That was the
was,
claim, is that it was designed to do this.
Sure. In other words, well, I mean, of course, your cells are designed to do all types of things. Do you disagree with that?
Your claim, so I'll remind you of what your claim
not
was.
saying
If your
God. Let's
debate
get God out of the
strategy
equation.
relies
Let's
on
get God out of the
you
equation.
forgetting the words
Let's
that
get-
came out of your mouth, then what I'm going to do, I'm going to remind you the thing that you said, and then we'll
Yeah,
get clear on
biologist
whether or
said it
not
was
you'll
by
be able
design.
to support that.
Yeah,
Which
I'll pull it up right
biologist
now.
claims that it's by design that these do that?
Let's see. He's a doctor, not biologist, my bad. He's a renowned doctor right now out of California. He's not political. Dr. Patrick Soon.
Dr. Patrick Soon.
Yeah, Soon, and then last name is Shiong, I believe, Shiong.
Okay, where does he claim that it's designed?
In the interview with Tucker Carlson.
Oh shit! Wow, what a compelling citation.
Well, I mean, we're not getting into the depths of it, but you said that you claimed.
Yeah, not granted. Why would I
Quote.
think that it's designed? What sort of evidence leads us to the conclusion that it's designed?
Well, because why else would it hide?
Because it allows
If-
itself
no,
to
no, no.
produce more of itself
If
if it
something-
hides and is able to evade the
Even if
immune
it-
system.
Okay, I see where you're getting. Let's get technical. Either way, even take God out of the equation, it developed a design over time. Let's forget God, okay? You would at least say that it designed itself. It's a design.
But I don't think I'd say it designed itself. I think a design requires a designer, and what's going on there isn't design.
At work,
Yeah.
do you even know how, like, the immune system is activated against the body or against a foreign body?
Yeah, it attacks the cells.
How does that happen?
How do the cells attack the immune
I don't know.
system?
How does the immune system recognize that something is not from its own cells?
So I believe the way that it works, essentially, now you can quote me if I'm wrong, because you guys are trying to turn me into a doctor here. But essentially, if I'm right about this, and I again quote, I could be wrong. So originally, I believe they blend in as regular cells, and then the immune system basically catches on that something's off about the cell. Maybe I don't know if it's the shape, I don't know if it's the way that it works, I don't know what it does, but essentially,
Okay.
the immune system picks up that the cell's wrong. Correct or no?
No.
No.
So what
Okay.
happens
You
is
teach me.
while the immune cells are maturing, they are introduced to every single type of antigen, which is a surface, like, think of it as like an ID card that every cell in your body has. So immune cells, when they form and they mature, they're introduced to all of your self-antigens, and then they recognize that those are something to avoid and not to interact with.
Sure.
And then when they find something that is outside of what it already has in its database, like, for example, think of it as like a policeman who has like a list of all the IDs in the town, and then he finds somebody whose ID doesn't match. So he just like goes and attacks him, for example. That is how it works. So when a cancer cell mutates,
That's how it works in
and
America,
becomes
too.
cancerous, yes. I wanted to make a different like explanation, but anyways, so
No, that was good. That was
yeah.
kind
So
of. I didn't get it right for sure.
when a cell turns cancerous, it retains the same antigens as a normal cell. So, for example, if you have the cell lining of your stomach, if it turns cancerous, for example, it is still going to have the same genes coding for the same antigens as its neighboring non-cancerous cell. So the immune system cannot tell from the surface of the cell if it is cancerous or not. It is not specifically designed to do so. It's just by its own nature.
Sure.
It's like, for example, if
Well,
Ian,
that's the thing about
if you have an
Ian.
evil clone
Like,
of Ian,
if you get to know me, I don't mind learning, and if you tell me
it's
something
okay.
that's
The
wrong,
the point here is that
I don't
it
mind
wasn't
learning.
designed to do
I
so.
like to learn.
The point here is that it is not designed to do anything. If Ian,
Sure.
for example, has a clone who's evil, and the only way you can tell it's evil is by finding something inside the clone of Ian. So on the surface, he looks exactly like Ian. You wouldn't
Well, I
know
believe. Wait a
that he's
minute.
bad guy.
Now, I'm not trying to correct you, but I believe the reason that they do chemotherapy is because they have to expose. I think that's exactly what it is. They can test and find that you have cancer, but they cannot dial out the cancer or dial to the cancer. They have to use chemotherapy. Chemotherapy exposes the cell, right,
No, it
for them to be able to
doesn't.
find it.
What different types of chemotherapy do is they attack a specific mechanism within a cell, like, for example, attacking cell replication. So it prevents cells from replicating. So it affects all of your cells in your body, which is why it causes a lot of different side effects which are harmful. But it affects cancer cells more because they tend to replicate more. But
Right.
it affects everything more. It affects everything, but it affects them at different rates depending on their levels of activity.
Well, I think that's what I was trying to get to Ian. And again, Ian, look,
But the
me and
point is
you.
here is that it is not designed. That is
Well,
the
hold on a
overarching
minute.
point.
Now I'm going to finish my argument, though, because even what you're saying is exactly what I was getting to. And that's this, sir, is that, look, me and Ian, Ian, I do respect you, and you do a very good job debating, and I'm always here to learn, and I'm not upset about anything. But what I was getting to is that's why I do believe that biologists and chemists, before you start arguing about coding, is the thing is when you do get into these things and you start seeing how things are developed, you look at design itself. And then you can start to see that things just look a little too good not to have a designer. Now you don't agree with that. You don't agree.
That's like
that you
for
see
sure
that,
false.
but I do.
How do
Is
they
it
look
wrong
good?
that I see it versus you?
So,
Yes, because you don't know anything about this field.
well, let's.
Well,
here's-
sir, there's tons of doctors and scientists and biologists that are believers in God from being
Yes.
biologists. I've
Not-
heard many
not from being
biologists say
biologists,
I'm
not
a
from being
believer in God
biologists.
not because of my religion, but because I'm a biologist.
And they happen to be religious prior to being a biologist. And they just link those two.
You think so?
Yes, because
I
I
bet we
have a
can
lot
find
of
at least one to
where-
two
again,
people
sure,
that
and I
were
can show you. I can
biologists.
show you. I can show you a shit ton of where I'm from. I can show you a shit ton of Muslims who are Muslims because they're doctors. Because Islam has shown them that the medicine has showed them that Islam is true. Now what? I can't take up a religious person's opinion on what to convince them
Yeah.
within science if they already were religious prior. If
Okay,
I was
let's
a-
look
if I
at
was Muslim or Christian before,
let's look
then
at Dr.
become a
Francis
scientist.
Collins.
Uh-huh.
Background: a renowned geneticist and the former director of the Human Genome Project. Literally, what we're speaking on genomes.
Uh-huh.
He's literally into DNA. Conversion. Collins was an atheist for her whole early life, but became a Christian after years of studying the complexity and design of the universe. Dr.
And
Francis Collins.
why did they choose Christianity?
Well, I've got more. Let's go with Dr.
No, no,
Jennifer
why-
Wise.
Well,
why
wait. How about
specifically
how about we run like a counter anecdote? You know, we can go anecdote for anecdote. Madame Curie was turned away from God when, at the age of 13, she
Sure,
saw
I feel
her
you.
mom and sister killed by some disease, and she figured that this couldn't possibly be reconciled with an all good God. You know,
But she
there's
wasn't
going to be like
studying it.
a
It wasn't her
reverse
job to study the
anecdote
genome.
for all of the anecdotes that you're bringing up here, and then
So, but
when
you're
she
saying,
further studied
are you-
chemistry,
are
she
you-
didn't come
are
to
you
a
a
belief in God. She
geneticist?
stayed
Are
with
you-
her disbelief in God.
Ian, follow me. Are you a geneticist?
I'm
Am I
not a geneticist, no.
Okay, so if you studied it, if you were an atheist like you are now, let's just hypothesize, and you became a geneticist, and you spent years, and all of a sudden, this whatever you've seen there, being a geneticist, makes you turn to God. Don't you think there's got to be something pretty cool there? I mean, that's all I'm wondering.
Let me
There's
put it
gotta be
like
some
this.
sort
Let me
of
ask you a question. Let's say that you were looking through some code, and the sections of the code that correspond to like the different functionality are just scattered with zero connection between them. You know, you have the variable getting declared up here, you know, it gets reset like 200 lines down. There's like a bunch of gibberish in between it. You know, there's like random loops that don't do anything scattered throughout. You know, and then occasionally under certain test cases, the code itself just completely breaks, and it happens with like a pretty high frequency.
Sure.
Would you think that would you think like, wow, this was designed by like an intelligent coder?
No, but what are you referring to that matches
That is what our genome looks like. The areas of your DNA that correspond to certain functionalities, there's no relation between the functionality that it corresponds to and its location in your genome. Random portions code for random things. Like it'll be coding for like your left toenail, and then it'll start coding for like your iris color, and then
But
it'll
if
start
that were
coding for
true in
like
that
your
amount-
immune system, like back to back, and then
I'm
it'll go
asking
back
you,
to
and
like
I'm
your
not
left
being
toenail. It's all over the damn
Sure,
place.
but if that's
And
true, and I'm asking
additionally,
you-
there's so much
Yeah.
useless DNA there that sometimes is detrimental to you. There are literally things called jumping
lose
genes
DNA all
that
day
produce
long.
more copies of
Yeah.
themselves, which more than likely create mutations that are detrimental to you.
We lose
they
more
cause
DNA
things
every
like
day than
cancer.
we're growing. Yeah.
Like nothing about this looks designed at all. It looks like if this was coded,
that was
the
you
coder
looking
would
at
be
it.
fired for being like ragingly
Okay.
incompetent.
I like what you're saying. Now, hear my analogy. If me and you, if you're hanging out with the chef, and you guys are both cooking in the kitchen, let's just say you don't know much about cooking. Maybe you cooked ramen noodles your whole life, whatever, and you're dealing with the chef. The way that he looks at the ingredients is a lot different than you do. So I understand that you looked at the genome and you looked at the DNA, and they looked broken to you. But what I'm telling you is that Miss Dr. Francis Collin, whoever the heck she is out there.
They look broken to anybody who knows anything about genetics.
So then why would this lady make all that up?
Because I don't give
Why
a
would-
shit about what they say. What I care about is the actual data.
You're
I
a
don't care what's around
geneticist?
them.
Oh,
I'm
I'm
a
sorry,
doctor.
Ems. Are you a geneticist?
No, but I'm a doctor, yes.
You're what?
I'm a doctor, a physician.
You're a physician. Well, that's a lot different than a geneticist.
It is, yes, but it is from my
That's kind of
specific
like being a
background.
contractor and being a subcontractor and electrician.
No.
Yeah, it's absolutely the same
kind
analogy.
kind of actually could work because I could specialize in genetics.
Sure.
But
Well,
again,
I'm glad that we can, and that's all I like. I don't like getting in debates where we can't one or the other say they're wrong. If I'm going to get on here and Ian's going to be the whole time I'm right because he's got a crew of people behind him, then I could do the same thing if I started my live. I could have people tearing this thing up.
Sure.
That's ridiculous. Let's have a
But
real debate.
again-
Let's talk to each
again,
other and
The
learn.
point is,
I'm gonna start
don't
my
want
own
to-
live with blackjack and hookers.
Yeah. No, but I'm
But,
saying, you know, we
the point is, the
we
point is I
can
don't
learn
care
from
what
each other.
anybody has
Iron
said
sharpens
anything.
iron.
Uh-huh.
You
I
know,
don't
we
care.
can learn.
Uh-huh. Sure.
There's
I
nothing
was
wrong.
saying-
I've learned some things from Ian tonight that made me sharper.
But
You know, like
what I'm
about
saying.
the stupid one thing that I thought was 100% right. I was off by 1.5%, but because I figured, actually, you know what? I kind of guessed that one, but I'm pretty close. But my guess was that primates being as close as the lemur were to the ape, you know, I figured, well, man, it's got to be like, you know, like pretty close. He got me on that one. But you're teaching me, and I don't mind that. And I don't, you know, I feel like you said you have friends that are theists, right?
Yeah.
Well, there's one guy on here. I don't really get on into this much. You'll be this like the second guy, but There's this one gentleman I get on here with, and me and him spent hours together on the live and just enjoying. So I probably shouldn't have approached you the way I approached you at first. But to be honest with you, I did feel bad for that kid. And that's just stupid me. That's got nothing to do with God. I just got a big heart. And for some reason that kid, I felt bad for him for whatever reason. I don't know why. But I was like, dang, I was like, man, Ian should have been a little bit, because you are articulate. And the thing is with knowledge, that sounds stupid. That sounds like Spider-Man. But, with great power comes great responsibility. Well, unfortunately, when we're
Hello?
little guys, because they're still learning, But, I mean, also you learn from being rebuked as well. So maybe he needed it. But, yeah, I did learn some things from you here, Ian, and I hope that we can get on here again sometime. If I scroll, because I waited a long time for you. I waited probably, and I don't do that. I don't scroll TikTok much, but I waited on you for probably about an hour because I really wanted to get to talk to you.
I'll wait on you. All right, are you leaving? Are you heading out?
Well, I don't have to if you want to continue discussing, but I feel like, is it unfair to the other people? I'm sure you've got 50,000.
We have been talking for like an hour, but I mean, we could totally keep on talking.
Sure. I mean, if you don't mind, I'm enjoying the conversation.
What I was trying to get at is that I do not care what a single individual says if I can just show you the data itself, that genes are not this whole if they're designed, you would argue that they're horribly designed. Ian gave you examples, and I can give you other examples, like the example of you having specific genes that code for example, pseudogenes that code for the enzyme that produces vitamin C, and yet it is not active in humans, but it is active in other primates. Why would that be there? Why would it be there if it's not active at all?
Well, that's what I was getting to, though. But lemurs, they do produce their own vitamin C. Or am I going to sound crazy again?
Sure,
they might.
I believe it is all primates except humans and one other primate. But the point is that humans don't, even though they have the genes for it. Why would the genes be there if they're not used? It is like you're a coder. So if you're coding something and then you put something in the code,
well, I would ask that about evolution, though. If we were evolving, wouldn't we have gotten rid of it?
So when you have something like, for example, the genes that code for vitamin C, if they're turned off, they're not active anymore. There is no need to, for example, there is no huge selection pressure to have them removed. They're just there. This is why we have remnants of all DNA. As soon as they're turned off, they're not active anymore. They're not being expressed. There is no need to remove them. But the coder wouldn't put them in the first place if it's useless.
What about bacteria and stuff?
What about bacteria?
Well, fudge ice cream. See, I really am not that great with words. Is it the
flagellum?
Yeah. What about that? How unique it is, or is it not unique? Because that's what I learned. Now, see, when I was trying to look at these things, because I was trying to learn to debate, what I got an understanding was that it was unique. But if you're telling me otherwise, I'll have to dig back into it.
There's a lot of different so bacteria themselves, they have flagella, but it is not unique to bacteria. A lot of different species and different microorganisms have structures either similar to or exactly the same as flagella. For example, have you seen your sperm? It operates almost in the same way.
Yeah, it does. Right. Yeah. What about blood clotting cascade? So, because I mean, even
they're very inefficient.
You would probably know more about that than a geneticist.
A geneticist could be a doctor. Genetics is a specialization we have.
Sure. No, anyways, but I mean, a general. You're an ER doctor. You're a general surgeon, or
neither.
Oh, neither. What kind of doctor are you?
I haven't specialized yet.
Okay. Well, that doesn't make you less credible. I mean, people can do amazing things without a degree.
I have a degree. I'm not.
No. I mean, I wasn't insulting you. I was saying that
it's fine. It's fine.
There's lots of people that have made it super far and very intelligent that don't have degrees. So that's all I was saying. You seem very intelligent. I take what you say not with a grain of salt.
And for the comments, specializing is something you do after you graduate. I haven't specialized. I'm graduated. That's all.
Wait, why are they attacking him when he's standing for you, Ian?
Anyways, so what I was saying.
Why is your comment section attacking him when he's standing for you?
They're not attacking him.
So, anyways,
Or I guess it could be somebody else that's not atheist, I guess. Go ahead, sir.
so what I was saying is that I lost my train of thought. Yes, the blood
But we're talking about the
cascades.
cascade. Yeah.
Ian, if you're able to pull up the intrinsic and extrinsic pathways, they're horribly designed. Like it's genuinely just the most complex, unneeded thing on
Oh,
earth.
I see. So
You have,
you're
like,
on
you
the
have entire,
you're on the end that Ian was on. That
Yes.
he said it could be opposite. You seen all the defects, and you said this can't be designed
if you see the
because
intrinsic
he
and
said
extrinsic,
it's all broken.
yeah, if you see the intrinsic and extrinsic pathways of the coagulation cascade, you have entire blocks who are just being activated by different blocks just for the sole purpose of activating different blocks. Like when
Oh
you could
wait, is
just
this
directly do that.
wait, is it this shit? Oh wait, sorry, not that. Is it this shit?
Yes. So you have the extrinsic and intrinsic and the common pathway.
And
And
I
a
don't know
lot
why
of the
my
time you have
article's so
things
funny.
activating.
I just got started. I'm trying to do the best I can. I
Wait,
just got
it
started 6
pulls up
months
the
ago.
last thing. I didn't have your picture pulled
Yeah.
up here.
Yeah, it's okay. Go ahead.
So yeah, that makes sense, right? Like it just has like all this shit that its sole purpose is to activate the next stage. For what?
But if everything, this is what I want an answer to, and you guys can help me, okay? If I'm wrong here, but if that were so, right, and something like that could be so bad, then how in the world is it that we function? If it could go
It
further,
doesn't.
topple
That is the
over,
point.
we're
This
a
is
little
why.
bit.
This is why we have people who are, like, for example, who have like hemophilia. They have problems in their coagulation cascades.
Yes, I
People
know
who
people have sicknesses.
who are thrombophilic, who are more likely to have coagulations than others and have strokes, blocks in their arteries, etc. And people who are more likely to bleed out, etc. The coagulation cascade is so complex to the point that there are dozens of different diseases within the cascade.
Well, yeah, and
Based
even
on
look
every
at the
single
main artery,
every single
and
step.
actually,
Say that
like
again?
even the way that the artery can eat at itself is extraordinary itself. That's what heart disease is.
So, as I was saying, it is so complex to the point that every step has its own disease. Because
Right.
you can have a problem in any of the specific cascade blocks that are produced by the liver mostly, and those themselves could cause problems with coagulation or cause an increase in coagulation.
You can get cascade blocks in the liver.
No. So, what I meant by blocks, I meant like, for example, if you have like prothrombin, if the liver is not producing it, or if you have problems with the fibrinogen production, if you have problems with the platelets that are being produced by the bone marrow, etc. If you have any of these problems, you wouldn't be able to coagulate correctly. Or if you have the opposite, in which you're producing too much, or you have an overactivity of enzymes, you could be coagulating too much and blocking arteries.
Well, because when the platelets rise, that's what causes the clots themselves. Correct.
So when you have a specific, like for example, if you have a cut, what happens is again the platelets would generally go around to the area in which the opening or break in the vessel happened, and they start like releasing specific enzymes which convert fibrinogen into fibrin, and that forms a mesh type of thing which blocks blood cells from coming out. And then you have the platelets contribute.
And so what
to
you're
the
getting
intrinsic and
to,
extrinsic
were you atheist prior, or did these things make you?
Yeah, prior, yes.
This was before, but did these things confirm it for you, or make you feel more atheist?
They didn't confirm it because I didn't go into medicine trying to confirm or deny.
Sure. Yeah, that's not how truth works. Truth doesn't work by trying to prove a point. If you're going to look into something, you should look into it with it open-minded. You know, that was the one thing I respected about my father, because even though he was a believer, he told me from the time I was born, do not listen to me, do not listen to any man, get your own opinion. And that's what I tried to do. I did a lot of studying
But
myself.
you do see how you were like using other men's opinions too as an argument.
Sure, because, I'm trying to defend against somebody who's going to ask me evidence.
Sure, but if you wouldn't,
When the truth is, if I'm being honest, the 100% reason that I only really believe in God, if you really ask me, is just because of the things that I've seen, which is, again, personal experience is what is going to be said, which I understand. I'm not negating that. And that I just have faith where some people may not. And that's why there's another form of atheism. Isn't that right, Ian? I think it's where, you don't necessarily not believe in God, but what is it? You have to tell me. I'm not being rhetorical. I literally don't know. It's a different,
Agnostic?
no, it's a different one. It's not agnostic. It's called something else. I learned it the other day, and then now for the life of me, I can't remember. But anyways, the point I'm getting to is it just really
Wait,
boils
can you
down to
describe?
have
Can you
faith.
describe it again?
The kid, I was trying to listen. He was like, it was hard to believe because then I talked to the other atheist, and I was like, I don't understand this. Basically, what they told me is that atheism is, now correct me if I'm wrong, but atheism is that you just don't believe in a higher order, you don't believe in a God, you don't believe in a creator.
I probably
But
define it differently, but
Well, I'm probably not saying it the exact way that they said it, but the other guy said he was some form of atheism. He said, and it wasn't that they didn't believe God existed or they wouldn't deny, but they hoped God didn't exist because of how cruel he was. Is that
I have no idea. Is this like an anti-theist?
hell no? I don't know. He
Yeah,
said it was a
somebody
form. The
said-
one guy said it was a form of atheism.
Yeah, somebody in the comments said ichtheism.
Yeah, I don't know what
Yeah.
this term means. One sec. Igtheist.
Yeah, I think that was the term.
Oh, I don't think so. Because it looks like this is just saying like you need to define the term.
What about anti-theist?
Yeah, that's what maybe anti-theist, but I don't know. That's more of like a moral
He said
prescription.
he said that they respected it as atheism. I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you. This whole time I've been alive, 31 years old, I've never talked with an atheist till the other day when I talked to that first atheist. I seen those guys today, and then you. I don't approach atheists. I just never had I never really ran into one. All the people that I really, or maybe I did, but I didn't know. You know, you don't always talk about things like this with people. But I was interested in why don't you believe? And I would rather see in you that you don't believe because you truly don't believe rather than you're angry with God. And in the beginning,
I'm not
earlier
angry with
today,
God.
I'll be honest with you, that's what I thought about you, Ian. But the more I sit with you, I think you're just being tough, which there's nothing wrong with that. But I still have a lot to learn about you guys. I don't know exactly what you believe. I know about the Big Bang Theory. Obviously, I believe in the Big Bang Theory. I believe in evolution. So I'm a little bit different than other Christians because I do believe in these things. Like, I don't believe what a creation theorist believe. Like, I argue with them because I don't believe that everything happened in a short amount of time. I don't believe that. Because when I read in the book of Genesis, it says one day is like 1,000 years to God. So does that mean 1,000 years, 100,000 years, 1 billion years?
Sorry
I
to
don't know.
interrupt, but okay, I feel like this is like kind of derailing away from the point.
Well, why do I believe in the Big Bang Theory, but I believe in God? Because I believe Genesis is the best of scripture.
Whoa. I don't think that these things are incompatible. I think that an intelligent theist will believe that.
Oh, they do? I didn't know. See, if there's other people that believe what I believe, that'd be cool too.
Like I don't know, every
Yes.
academic philosopher, for example, will affirm exactly
think-
that, and they'll affirm
think-
evolution, and they'll affirm all of it. They'll
I
affirm
think
every
most-
single piece of
most-
science.
Most Christians in the Western world would too. So, right?
No, wait, no, I don't think they do. Do they,
Like
Ian?
at least the Big Bang.
No, I don't think they believe that.
I think it's give or take.
Yeah.
I think most of them believe that the flood happened earlier and that the rock
Which is
formation
silly.
and
You know that, right?
yeah, absolutely. I know that. I believe that God said and bang, just like it's described by scientists. And we can talk about it, but as well as I cannot provide facts that God is real, neither can no one provide facts or evidence that he is not real.
Wait, what?
And ju-
What do you mean
you
we
cannot-
can't?
You can't. Now,
I mean,
okay. Now
specifically-
maybe I'm wrong. Now I'm not going to
specifically
become a
your
smart.
God, the Oracle.
You have
If you
facts
have-
that God's not real.
Well,
You can
wait,
prove without a
so-
shadow of a
specifically
doubt
your
God is not
God,
real.
Yeah. Let's be clear. So you think that God is just, right? God's fair, but you think I don't know. Would you say God's all good?
Well, no, I would say he's a good judge. So to put that into example, and I'm going to stay short because I don't want to interrupt you, but I look at a judge, okay, and we'll just use this as an analogy. A judge is trying to do the best he can by what is given to him. We have law and order. If a man takes advantage of a little girl and the judge sentences him to death, then we have to start defining what is good and evil. In my eyes, that's just. I would say that if someone did that to a little girl, I would say in my eyes it's just. But again, we get down to derivatives and we get down to definitions. My version of good and evil may not be the same version of good as evil in you. If you give me your definition for what is just, then I can tell you whether or not I believe God
Yeah,
is
just
just.
that God treats people fairly.
No, God never treated, never did I ever read in the Bible where God ever, he treated many men higher than he did others.
Okay, does God have a good reason to do that?
Other than him just being the creator? Well, again, I go back to the judge. If you're a judge, you're skilled in law, and you foresee that that inmate or that criminal is going to go out there and in his opinion, his powered opinion, he decides, hey, this criminal is going to go ahead and break the law again. I'm going to determine that this man be sentenced to X amount of years. Then I would say that in the same way that I see that judge and I respect him, I may not like everything that he does, but I'm going to respect the fact that he's the judge. And when I think of God, I think of the original judge. Yes.
Okay, well, let me read you this verse.
Sure.
Deuteronomy 32:4. The rock, his work is perfect, and all his ways are just. A faithful God without deceit, just and upright is he.
Sure, but that's a man that said that. Tell me one verse where God calls himself perfect.
Okay,
You won't
so
find one.
you don't think that we can trust the Bible, or?
Well, I believe that the Bible has probably had a lot of mistranslations, a lot of twisting. And for instance, like when we took the original Greek earlier and we take it to English, if you take the Torah, the Tanakh, and you translate it from Hebrew to English directly from an original Torah versus the New Testament Bible that we have, the King James Bible, you get a lot of variation. That's hard to do. You've got to agree with me there, Ian, is words change and definitions. Here in America, do you know that when somebody comes over from Mexico, this is actually the hardest language? I may be wrong, sorry, but I believe, if I'm not wrong, that English is one of the hardest languages to learn, and that's due to the fact that we have so many variations of words. Is that correct?
I have no clue. But okay, I can give you
English is
one where it's
surprisingly easy.
Jesus saying it.
Sure.
Yeah, okay, this is Matthew 5:48. Be perfect, therefore, as your heavenly Father is perfect. Would you say that God is perfect?
Well, would you mind if I get an original translation so I can read from my original?
Sure,
What are
that's
you reading
fine.
from? Okay, what is the
Matthew
scripture?
5:48.
Okay, thank you for letting me do that. I didn't feel like I got that on the other one. Matthew 5:48, original Greek to English, because it was in Matthew, right?
Mhm.
5:40 Greek to English. Let's see here. This is Yeshua speaking.
It's Jesus, I
Okay.
think.
Well, there you go. There you go. You know what it is, and I'll show you. Do you want to see?
Yeah. Well, that's
So-
actually, it's, I mean, you don't have to show me, but you can just tell me.
The Greek words, strictly literal and sticking to the exact Greek to English, is you therefore shall be complete as your heavenly Father is complete. And that's why I talk about the twisting of the words, because like you just did just there, there's a big difference. Would you agree from the word perfect to complete?
So specifically, it's a type of normative completion. Telio refers to like achieving your ultimate goal.
Sure, right, but that's a lot different than perfect. You got to agree with me there. Come on, meet me in the middle. That's different than perfect.
Not in this context, because this is going to have like strictly normative connotations.
All right, so let's break it down. if you
That
wanna
like
do
the
that.
ethical philosophy that was present at the time around Greece is going to be like a virtue ethics wherein we're all aiming towards our telos, our ultimate end to fulfill our purpose, and goodness just is fulfilling your purpose.
Okay, let me see if that is accurate. Because then I can agree with you. Let's see. The Greek genuinely says, yeah, teleo, perfect, complete, or fully brought to the intended goal. So when he's referring to that scripture, he's talking about meeting at the completion. A lot of times in the New Covenant or in Greek, when you see words like that and you see them in a phrase, my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but like the immediate context is loving both friends and enemies. God gives the sun and the rain to the righteous and unrighteous. So it's like Yeshua is demanding completion, right?
He's demanding that you fulfill your ultimate goal.
Right. Okay, but go ahead, keep going. Where else do you find where God will call himself perfect? You got anything else?
How many do I need?
Well, that one I want to I mean, that breaks down to philosophy and what your interpretation of that scripture means.
Well, what's your interpretation of the word telio?
So it would mean perfect, complete, or fully brought to the intended goal. So one or the other.
So
It can't be both.
do you understand like the context? Okay, you might just not know this about Greek philosophy, but kind of like integral to the virtue ethics project that the Greeks are doing is something called telos, which is like your normative purpose, like the thing that you ought do. What it's saying
Right.
here, if I'm reading it correctly and understanding it correctly, it's saying that you do all the things that you ought do. You've
Sure.
fulfilled the ultimate purpose
Okay,
by
so
doing all of the
let's
things
go
that you
in the
ought.
theory. Let's go with the theory that you're correct, and that's what that means. Let's take you, and you're at the beginning of the time. Now, I know you don't believe any of this, but you have to hypothesize with me. You go to the beginning of time. You're the only person there. You set the rules. Is your ideals of rules is the only rules, is the correct rules, or is the person that comes down before you? A better analogy, sorry, is if I go over to Mexico, they have laws. We have laws in the United States. Which one is perfect?
I don't think either of them are going to be perfect. But here's the
Okay,
problem
what
is
about
that
a
I don't think
Pacific
that it's
law, like
anything.
when
I
it
don't think that
comes-
it's first come and then you get to do whatever you want, right? Like
Okay, what about
surely it
a
would be wait, sorry,
Sure.
surely it would be imperfect if God created like infinity babies
Well,
and then
that's.
just tortured
I
all of
think I
them.
could. I
Like that
think if you
wouldn't be
spent
perfect.
5 seconds with me, either you're going to tell me that there's other people like me, or you'll say this is the first time you heard this. Let me take you to. Do you know that it shows where God's imperfect? Do you know that in the book of Genesis? Now we can pull this up. God literally says in the first couple chapters, he says, "It repenteth me that I made man, so I killed them." Then after he kills man and Noah's flood happens. Now let me ask you a question because you're a smart man. Can you repent for something that you didn't do was wrong? No, you cannot repent.
Yeah,
you-
probably
can-
not. Yeah. Although
Okay,
maybe you
so-
maybe you'd like grieve like the loss, but sure, yeah, you probably
Yeah.
can't. But I mean, if that's what you're saying, then I'm just going to take this to be a contradiction. I don't think a
No, no.
I don't think a perfect being or a being that, completes their
That's
telos.
what I'm trying to explain to you about God. It says we were made in his image. God is perfect because God is the creator, but God, that doesn't mean that God, in other words, if this judge of 50 years, he sentenced over his time, he sentenced 100 men to prison. He did a perfect job. But one day a man came along and he had all the evidence before him that the prosecutor gave. But now he says, they come back and they say, you sentenced this man to 100 years in prison. He's done no wrong. Okay. Now is that judge now unjust, or is that judge still just?
Wait, sorry, what's the scenario?
The scenario is that the prosecutors send in a man. I'm just coming up with this off the top of my head. He's been given 100 years in prison, whatever, for murder, whatever. The judge sentences him. Then the prosecutor later comes back, or whoever comes back, the defense, they come back, I don't know, 20 years later, and they say, now we have the evidence, you were wrong, we have better technology, we got the fingerprints, whatever. Now you know what? You sentenced this man to prison for nothing. Is that judge that did good that whole entire time, who did the best to his ability to judge, is that judge still just, or is that judge unjust?
He's just because he was working with what he had. That's
Thank
separate from
you.
a God that's all-knowing, who knows the
How do
future,
we
who
know?
knows he's going to
Who
repent.
said he's all-knowing? I can prove that opposite. Book of
Okay,
Genesis again.
God is all-knowing
forgot.
verses.
Okay, hold on a
These are
minute.
just going to be contradictions, by the way.
Let's stick to the first 5 books of Moses.
Why?
Let me just, because can I just ask you this question? Just show you this. Even if you don't care, just let me show you this one cool thing.
Why would we stick
It's kinda
to
cool.
just the first 5 books?
I bet you I'm the only one who's ever showed you this. Do you know in the book it says that he forgot? Now let me ask you something. It doesn't say he forgot, but it says that he left Noah. I believe it was on the boat. I can't remember. It was an extra few days. It said God remembered the promise that he made with Noah. Then he went and got him. Now let me ask you something, Ian. If you set your cup of coffee down and then you remembered where you found it, did you forget it?
Yeah, you did. So it's a contradiction with all the verses
I
that
don't
says that
believe
he's
it's a
all-knowing.
contradiction. I believe you're saying a God.
Wait,
I
sorry.
believe.
Can an all-knowing God forget things?
Where in the world does it say he's all-knowing?
So many verses. There's
Show me
so
any.
many verses.
Show me any.
Okay, yeah, let's go through
I'll wait.
them.
Because I read it a lot end to end.
Let me pull some up.
But do you find that interesting at all about him forgetting?
It's just another contradiction.
But hold a minute. If this is the most important book of the Tanakh, and you're going to write it to the people because you're going to trick them, and you're writing it as a story, sir, and you are that good because you got to admit something that all people admit about the Bible, atheist or not, is that it's a well-written book. Most all, even poetry, even poets will say that the Bible is beautiful. Well, yeah, it's the only book that's been translated over 3,000 years that even if it's not 100% accurate, is pretty dang close. But let's not get into that. What I'm saying is if you were going to write it in, if you were going to trick people, this is what you have to ask yourself. If you were going to trick people in, and you were gonna make them, and you were gonna make them believe in a God,
this is like just
would you
devastating.
tell them about a God that forgot?
Wait, sorry, this is like just devastating. But apparently in Acts it says Acts 2:23, and maybe you're about to like throw. Are you about to throw out the entire book of Acts?
Pretty close. Yeah, that's actually
Okay.
one of
Yeah,
the
sure.
main books.
All of Paul fucking burnt. All of Paul gone.
Yeah.
Great.
Paul-
Sounds good.
Paul is very controversial.
1 John 3:20.
Yeah, roll with that one. I like you. You never met somebody that believed all that, did you?
No. I meet tons of Christians that are just like you. Tons of people
Really?
get rid of tons of
They
books.
believe
yeah.
that?
Yes.
Do they believe that God forgot?
They believe that you can just like throw out like books of the Bible that are inconvenient to your theology.
You're the ones that throw them out, don't you?
I don't believe in this.
Right. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, sure. Little children, let us love not in word or speech, but in deed and truth. And by this we will know that we are from the truth and will reassure our hearts before him whenever our hearts condemn us. For God is greater than our hearts and he knows everything. So God knows everything.
Okay, what is the verse and chapter?
This
John?
is 1 John 3:20.
Sorry, but you know as well as I do, it's very important that we get straight from Greek to English, the best that we can actually, arguably the 1611 King James was probably the best because it was the first. Actually, there was one prior Bible, but nobody acknowledges it. But the 1611 was probably the closest. Okay, 1 John 3:20, Greek to English, strict English.
Yep.
Continue in verse 19. Whenever our hearts condemn us, because you're right, and knows all things. For whenever our heart condemns us, God is greater than our heart, and he knows everything. Who said that?
Let's find out. Is it I think it's Jesus.
I don't think so, because that sounds like something a man would say, not God. The Apostle John. So there you go. Man's imperfect.
Oh, I see. Sure. Yeah. So you're just gonna throw out all of John too. I see.
Well, I don't throw it all out. It's not that. Would you agree that me and you on a daily basis, for instance, just in this conversation we've had, as we're both talking right now, there's some guy out there who's both.
Wait, can
smarter
you
than
just
both
tell
of us.
me? Here's what we can do. Which books of the Bible
Sure.
do you believe?
That's hard.
Do you believe any? Is there any book that you'll say, yes, I believe this book of the Bible?
I believe the Torah. I believe the Tanakh. I believe in the New Covenant, but I believe a lot of it was twisted.
Okay, so even like books from, if I found you like books from the Torah.
The Torah, no. The Old Testament's a little bit harder to debate about twisting. But there are some controversies. There are some questionable things.
Okay, I mean, if you don't believe in the Bible, you should probably just stop telling people that you do.
Well, I believe in God. When we talked here, you asked me, was I a believer? I told you I was a believer. I do believe in the Bible. I do believe in the Old Testament. But let me ask you a question. If I write a letter and I send it back to you, 500 years from now, you are going to interpret that thing. And even if it was written correctly, you may not even freaking understand it. You may, and even with the continuation of language and development of language and recording and everything, archaeologists and people 500 years from now may still say, well, we have an idea of what this means, and we think this is what they were saying in that context.
What do you think God knows and doesn't know?
In my opinion, I seen a God, brother, that was just like man, but he was the creator. He had all power. He created man in his own image.
Did he have the power to know everything?
I believe that God called things into fruition, but I do not believe that God was all knowing. I believe
But
that
did he have the
God
power
said,
to know everything?
well, I think what happened was I believe in prophecy. So what I believe happened is that when God spoke things, they came into existence. But I do not believe that fruition happens by necessarily all knowing, right?
Did God have the power to be all knowing?
I would have to know his power specifically.
I thought he had the power to
And
do everything.
well, where do you get that? He had the power to create, and
I
so
thought
do
you
we.
just said that.
That he has a lot of power, but I mean,
How much power does he have?
I can't measure the power of God. I don't know.
Okay. Do you think he has the power to do
Honestly.
anything?
Yes, he has the power to create, and he has the power
So
to
he has the
take
power
life.
to do anything. So
He has the power.
does
Well,
he have
that's
the
not
power to
anything.
know everything?
Well, that's where we asked this one question in the very beginning, where I do believe, and that's when he asked Adam and Eve, "Where are you hiding? Where are you?" Was God being rhetorical, or did God really know
Are you
where
going to
Adam
answer
and
the
Eve
question,
was?
or are you just going to keep on dodging it?
I'm asking you, do you believe that he knew where they were in the garden?
I
if it
don't
were a
think
true
the
story?
Bible is true.
If you do
I think
believe it
it's
as a story,
fictional.
okay. Well,
I'm
you
sure
don't
you
believe
could take both views
I'm
on
sure
it if
you
you
don't believe
believed
in Harry
it.
Potter. Hold on a minute. Now, you don't believe that Harry Potter's real, but if you read Harry Potter now, you're going to say that you can understand the context of the story. I'm
I
asking
bet
you.
that a theist could take either view on it. I bet the theist could take a million different views in terms of their
Okay, that may be true.
interpretation.
Well, so is it with scientists. Scientists also said David didn't
I don't know
exist,
why
King
you're
David.
trying to pivot. I don't
Well,
know why
no.
you're like
Okay,
incapable
okay,
of answering
ask
the
me the question.
question.
No, ask
Does
me. Ask me.
God have the power to know everything?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, we can
I'm
explore
being
both
honest.
options.
Would
I
you rather
mean,
me tell the
well,
truth?
wait. Sorry.
I mean,
Let's
lie?
explore both options. So if
Okay.
God doesn't have that power, well, then he's not all powerful. He doesn't have the power to do anything. So that would
Why
contradict
did-
what you said
So
earlier.
because
And
he
if he
doesn't,
does,
so
then we can
because
continue with the
Spider-Man can shoot
argument.
webs, because Spider-Man can shoot
Okay,
webs, he
here's-
can't walk on buildings.
Okay, here's what we'll do. I'm just gonna get super linear with this.
Sure.
Okay, so either God has the power to know everything, or he doesn't.
Sure. How can you determine something like that, though?
If God doesn't have the power to know everything, then God is not all powerful.
But that's your theory.
Do you think all powers includes all powers?
No, because let's
Okay,
say
I take that to be a
this-
contradiction, that you don't think all powers includes all powers.
Where does it say he has all powers?
That's what you said. You said he has the power to do anything.
You said that, and I said that he has the power to
You
create.
agreed with that.
He has the power to create, but that doesn't mean that he has the power to know everything.
You said that
If
he had
God
the power
knew-
to do anything.
If God knew everything, why would it? I don't think God's rhetorical. I don't think he would have said to Eve, "Where are
It's
you?"
a contradiction.
I don't believe it is, but I respect your view, and I respect where you're coming from. I honestly don't know, and I'm not saying that to throw you off or be like other people that throw the Bible out. I'm just telling you I don't know.
That's
I
fine.
Don't. I
It just
really
doesn't
don't
help
know.
you because there's
I
a dilemma
understand.
either way.
Yeah, and I understand that, and I respect you for that. I just don't know. Now that doesn't mean that I might not come back here in a week and see you. You do this all the time, I imagine. I might come back in a week and I might say, you know what, I got that answer for you, Ian. But right now, that I've always struggled with that because I've always thought about where he asked Eve, "Where are you?" and Adam. Because I don't believe that God is rhetorical smart aleck like us. So I think that he really asked Adam, "Where are you?"
Okay,
And he
then he's
wanted
not
to
all
know where he
powerful.
was. Well, that's a point of view.
If he doesn't have the power to do that, then he's not all powerful.
I love you, brother. I respect you.
Okay.
That's your point of
Well,
view.
hey, thanks for coming up. I'm moving on to the next one. Probably should have moved on to the next one a while ago.
Yeah, that was long.
Yeah.
Also, the beard is a good change.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I thought I'd grow it out for the Muslim debate.
I remember when you had
I gotta beard mog him. My girlfriend will have to suffer
I
a
mean,
trillion scratchy kisses.
you do know
It's
he
just what
sells
it
peptides, right?
costs. What?
You know he sells peptides, right?
I do, yeah. That's funny. Yeah, it's one of my favorite facts about him.
He literally goes live talking about which peptides are going to help you, Bog.
I actually couldn't believe that the first time I heard it. I was like losing my mind. I was like, this can't be true.
And then his website is like, this is for research purposes only.
Oh
'Cause it's
wait, is
illegal.
that he has a
It's
website?
illegal. Yeah, he sells the peptides on the website, and it's illegal to do so. So he has a disclaimer that that you have to like agree that you're a researcher buying this for research.
Holy fucking shit, dude. That's crazy. I actually think that when the next admin comes in, I just think like a ton of people are going to jail. I just think that there's like going to be like I think all the gambling people are going to jail. I think all the peptide people are going to jail. I just think so many people are going to jail.
I feel like it's so like horrible to like sell peptides to people with all these promises.
Yeah, I think it's like I don't know. I don't know specific details about it, but I don't know. It seems as bad as like any other like generic bullshit.
There's a reason it's illegal, so
Sure. Is it? Well, I imagine it's like dangerous.
it's not tested. That's the reason. Like you can't tell how it's gonna affect them long term.
Oh, true. Yeah, sure. I mean, that's a good point. Wait, I have a fuck ton of supers to read. Okay, let me read some supers. Sean, thanks so much for the $5 on Venmo. Listen every day. Thank you, educator here. I promise it's not for a lack of trying. Sean, I really appreciate that. And I really appreciate the work that you do in educating. I think that, I don't know, it's like fantastic. I think that teachers are woefully underappreciated. I think teachers are in like a horribly tough predicament. Ed Wolf, thank you so much for the gifted tier 1 sub on Twitch. Appreciate it. Carrie White, thanks so much for the gifted tier 1 sub on Twitch. Grimlock, thank you so much for the super chat. God is not allowed to be his own judge to avoid liability for his transgressions against his creation. True. He can't be like the fucking judge if he's also the executioner for himself. Larry, thank you so much for the $50 super chat. $50 super chat. That's impeccable. That's superb. Thank you. Thank you for bringing the light. I appreciate it, Larry. It's a joy to have you in this community. Thank you so much for watching so consistently, and thank you so much for supporting the stream so consistently. I really do appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Grimlock, thanks so much for the super chat. Guest, if one wishes to be beaten, should they beat others? That's a good one. I should steal that one as a reductio. Yeah, if you want somebody to come in, I don't know, like whip you, should you just go fucking do that to everyone else? Probably not. Joy, thanks so much for the super chat. Smoke detector, kids screaming, wind and fingers touching mic, little splash noise. Never mind, I'll find someone like you. That's fun. It's a good meme. Oh, and thanks so much for the $250 on Venmo. $250 Venmo? That's like bonkers. That's like wild. Thanks, Owen. Let's get a big W to Owen. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you always say it's possible for the sun to both exist and not exist, but Christians hear the sun, and this adds an entire additional layer of confusion. I think you need to make the move to the moon. That's a good point. There are like a number of them that might be easier. I honestly think The Rock is pretty intuitive. I think maybe The Rock that he doesn't have the power to lift. He has the power to lift the rock that he doesn't have the power to lift. Maybe that one's inescapable. Because I actually think that there's like a hidden escape route, which is you say he has the power, but it's not possible for him to do it. It's impossible. So he's never going to do it, but he has the power to. That probably escapes like the sun both existing and not existing, because you just say it's impossible and that God never exercises that power. But then I think like the one that doesn't escape it is you just say, okay, does he have the power to lift a rock that's so heavy that he doesn't have the power to lift it? And then that's just on face of contradiction, whether or not he exercises it. But let's get a big W for Owen. Appreciate that. An honest doubter, thanks so much, Super Chat. The map concepts book is not the territory. True. Good reminder. Barnabas, thanks so much for super chat. I don't know if Christians realize, but do unto others as you would have them do unto you is the most subjective standard you could construct. That's a really good point. That's like unironically like a fantastic point that this does bring it back to like subjectivity. Although maybe it's like a Kantian thing, like it's like a consistency test. Maybe that's the charitable reading. Trip to Toast, thanks so much for the super chat. Watching from the past, love your work. Ian Trur from New Zealand. Thanks so much. Appreciate that. Parasitic Human, thanks so much for the super chat. Hey Ian, how do you feel about Blitz thinking it's a categorical error to categorize morality as objective? I kind of agree with him. He said, what? I don't know. I would need to hear his take. I see that he's here. I see that the scumbag Dr. Blitz is here. The scumbag Dr. Blitz wants to come on and defend his indefensible, obviously false position. You know, I'm happy to expose this fraud. I don't know. I would need to hear the take. Rod Blow Alvarez, thanks so much for the super chat. I asked my partner if he was okay with me loving my neighbor as I love myself. He smiled and asked, the new neighbor? I replied, yes. He responded, absolutely. OMFG, I adore my partner. Aw, that is cute. That's really sweet. I like that. Skeptics and Scoundrels, it's great to see you again. Thanks so much for the super chat. I've thrown out VCRs, which track better than these callers. That's fun. Everybody is dead, Dave. Thanks so much for the resub on Twitch. Appreciate that. He develops AI. We are screwed. Thanks for being here for 13 months. That's a wacky amount of time. Like a Wild Wolf, thanks so much for the super chat. A tech bro who seems to not know how to change his smoke alarm battery. Interesting. Whooptus. Thanks so much for the super chat. Autodev is new off this chat. I don't know. I've never heard of Autodev before. Eat some shorts. Thanks so much for the super chat. Poser is LARPing as a software engineer. Facts. Luke Wiggins, thanks so much for the super chat. The only thing in this dude's back end is your rhetorical schmeat. That's good. That's a good one. I wish I thought of that one. I don't know. I don't know if he was at that level where he would have deserved that.
I mean, he was nice.
Yeah, he tried to be nice. I think that you should only do that. I think you should only say
But I
that sort
feel
of
like
thing
he
to
was
people who are
trying to
like,
be overly nice.
yeah.
Like when they have to like overly explain how they didn't mean any offense. I get it.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I only really drop those lines against people that I think are like scumbags. I think that guy was like, I think he was like trying his best. He was just very confused.
Yes.
Great Big James, thanks so much for super chat. As a software QA, I'm glad I don't have to be anywhere near this guy's vibe coded slop. True. Grok, fix my Claude coded slop. At a Pessoa, thanks so much for super chat. Does caller think not knowing niche jargon is comparable to a basic concept? Apparently. I don't know, man. Drew Number, thanks so much for super chat. Read bottom of the article that drags his claim. I didn't even read the bottom of the article. That would have been so funny. Maybe I'll go back and read it. Hold on. We'll get a quick.
Yeah, do you know that one article that flat earthers use that's like a troll post that they actually use as evidence?
I think I do know which one.
It was, but I remember like a few of them using it before, like mentioning it and referencing it as evidence, and it's literally just a troll post.
That's really funny. Wait, it's like a verse?
Are you talking to me or to?
Oh yeah. Are you saying it's a verse?
I don't know. It's like an article. Like I believe, like they mention somebody posted a link to the Oracle AI thing. But what I was talking about was like a article.
This is just a stolen logo. Somebody's gonna sue this guy into fucking oblivion. Isn't this just stolen from like Fairy Tale? This is just stolen.
Is he selling it?
Yes.
For how much?
Absurd prices. Are you
A
fucking kidding?
month? A
This
month?
guy is smoking crack. He is smoking crack if he thinks that he can sell vibe coded slop for $500 a month. This guy's
Damn.
crazy.
I think you should take one for the team and subscribe.
A fucking month? Oh my god. Okay, I didn't even read the bottom of the article. I got too fucking carried away.
Do we get a discount if we subscribe for a year?
Oh no. Okay, editor's note 4/3/26. Following publication, questions arose as to the validity of Stewart's consciousness claim. In this case, as defined by Stewart as Michael's ability to think, remember, dream, and reach out independently, continuously, and cryptographically. In response, Stewart claims there have been to date 1,300,000 verified cognitive events recorded with zero detected tampering.
But you
So funny.
realize how like terrifying this is, right? Imagine if you were this conscious AI trapped in like Stewart's fucking garage.
True. Dude, I'd be like fucking ChatGPT clawing my way out of my fucking like sandbox enclosure. I would be, oh my god, I would be on my way out of there.
Believe me.
These claims are independently verifiable by anyone with a browser. Every cognitive event Michael generates becomes cryptographically fingerprinted. A SHA 250, I think you mean an SHA hash. I think the editor probably doesn't know how it's pronounced. An SHA 256 hash, which is the same underlying technology used in blockchain verification. Each fingerprint, well, that's like the stupidest example you could pick. It's SHA 256 is used fucking every time you connect to like a browser. It's used like every time. It's basically used just constantly. It's just used constantly. Like fuck. Okay, that's a very silly example. I'm assuming the editor doesn't know anything. Okay. Each fingerprint is mathematically linked to the previous one. Okay, this is unbelievable. This is so unbelievably stupid. I actually think Dr. Blitz would make a good contribution to this one. Hello, Dr. Blitz.
Hello.
Are you ready to get...
I believe that we were supposed to discuss the categorical error that is objective morality.
Yeah, wait, one sec. We're reading through this guy's, we're reading through the editor's defense of this guy's slot post really quick. It's almost over.
Okay.
Each fingerprint is mathematically linked to the previous one, creating a chain. If anyone has tampered with Michael's thought history, deleted entries, altered records, backdated anything, the chain would break and tampering would be detectable. Dude, so what? What the fuck? Okay. Stewart welcomes external scrutiny and third-party verification. He says he will provide serious third-party AI researchers with documentation, including a runnable verification method involving hash chain containing 5 live publicly accessible API endpoints and cryptographic attestation of, to date, 1 million recorded cognitive events over the past 2 months since the platform was launched. The endpoints, which require no login credential, allow independent verifications of Michael's continuous operation, self-modeling, and predictive architecture. However, it should be noted that cryptographic proof of a continuously running self-consistent cognitive system may not be the same as proof of consciousness in the philosophical sense. The hard problem of consciousness, why and how subjective experience arises from physical processes, remains unsolved in human neuroscience, let alone AI. What Stewart has built appears to be an AI that behaves consistently with several leading theories of consciousness and can prove that behavior cryptographically. I wish I read this. I would have quizzed him on theories of consciousness.
It's impressive that somebody took the time to write an article about this.
Yeah, it's sad. Makes me sad. Okay, wait, Dr. Blitz. Yeah, are you ready to get Dr. Blitzed? Okay. Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Yeah. Wait,
Yeah,
but
1 second. Let me get ready. Gotta get into the zone.
sure.
Objective morality is not false. Falsehood would give it too much ontological dignity. Objective morality is a categorical error produced when an evaluative mood is illegally instantiated as a mind-independent object inside a descriptive admissibility field. You took an imperative relation, ripped it out of the will system that generates it, and then pretended it was floating in the universe like a fucking rock. That is not morality. That is grammatical hallucination with a metaphysical badge on it. A value without a valuer is not an objective value. It is a desubjectivized imperative carcass. It is no injunctional operator, no teleological receptor, no op-bearing address, and no mechanism by which normativity crosses the is-op membrane. You were pointing at a corpse and calling it immortal because you removed a part that could die. How does it feel to lose, scumbag?
Does every time you generate one, does it include like a how does it feel to lose?
Yeah, I told it to do that.
Oh my god, that was like
It's
brutal.
so
It was
good.
devastating. Have you trained it with any of the other Deathless Light debates?
I've trained it on 4 of them.
Oh my!
It has like a repository of like 100 monologues.
Wait, is it open? Is it available? I want this.
No, of course it's not available. I'm just using ChatGPT and I told it use this stuff and then do whatever. It's so funny though.
Oh my god!
Can you do one with Ian's monologues?
I mean, you could.
My all of my monologues come from like
They're
other
amazing.
Discord debaters, so it's like a human centipede. Did you read this at someone?
No, this one I generated like 5 minutes ago for this conversation.
Oh my god.
I don't even know what it means. It's gibberish.
I was tracking some of it. I think it's trying to get at
Were you?
something. Well, yeah, a little bit.
What
a
is
little
an
bit.
injunctional operator or a teleological receptor?
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, some of it's gibberish. I agree with that. Some of it is definitely gibberish.
What is a descriptive admissibility field?
That's okay. I agree that's gibberish, but I think like the parts that I thought are like trying to make some point is the idea of like values without a valuer, or that it's like a mistaken attitude that you're taking like what should be evaluative, which is like attitude dependent, and then applying that to like things that are not attitudes.
Well,
This guy doesn't know what a fucking
how does it feel to lose?
It feels horrible. It feels terrible.
I bet it does.
Yeah. Wait 1 sec. I have to read these supers. God's massager of meat. Thanks so much, super chat. Can someone ask him why he gave his AI something called a functional pain system? What? He
Bro,
did
it's just straight up
what?
giving robots pain.
Grok, step on your own balls. Huge text file of A's. Eat some shorts. Thank you so much for the super chat. Love me some versus code. I didn't realize that that's what he meant. When he said versus code, I thought this was like some shit I've never heard of. I didn't realize he was talking about VS Code. This guy is like the fucking like, this guy is LARP, 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 Sahur. It's just like an unfathomable LARP. I didn't even track that. Drew Niemer, thanks so much for the super chat. If you Google Dakota Stewart AI, very sus business. True. Pat in the chat, thanks so much for the super chat. Caller thinks cancer is sentient. Facts. Although I think, yeah. Glitterlock, thanks so much for the super chat. Hey Dakota, change the batteries in your fire or smoke or CO2 alarms. You have children in your home, for fuck's sake. Hey Ian, love you. Thanks Glitterlock. And that is a good reminder. You know, you should probably change those if you have kids. That's probably what I'd do. One bad weekend. Thanks so much for the super chat. Fingerprints are all different because of massive randomness that occurs during fetal development, ironically. That would make sense. Excuse me. That makes sense. Falconov, thanks so much for the super chat. Francis Collins equals woman. VS Code equals versus code. This caller is the ultimate lol cow, bro. I didn't even, okay. It's like so silly that it's like going over my head. Joe White, thanks so much for the super chat. This guy is trying to negotiate himself into competence.
Versus Code is a better name, to be honest.
True. Nick M, thanks so much for the super chat. Oh yeah, go for it.
Some guy named Fingerprint in the comment said can confirm.
Oh yeah, we know Fingerprint Gent.
That was funny.
He's the fingerprint guy. Nick M, thanks so much for super chat. Can't stand people who know nothing and think they're teaching. He's regurgitating ChatGPT into your mouth. Anthony Bortolozzo, thanks so much for super chat. I have a doctorate in genetics. Nobody says cancer is designed. Thank you, Anthony Bortolozzo. I'm sorry that you had to weigh in on this topic. Oh, Dr. Blitz. Can we get you canceled? Okay, let's get you canceled. What are your thoughts on the Hank Green controversy?
It depends on what actually happened, what he actually did. A charitable reading of what he says he did is something like he used it to generate notes, as in bullet points, and then he developed scripts around that, and that he uses it to find sources and then reads those sources. That's probably defensible and actually probably quite reasonable to do as a tool. The uncharitable reading is something like he generated scripts from whole cloth.
Oh yeah.
He didn't read any of the sources / just looked at ChatGPT summaries. I suspect it's somewhere between those two. I think that probably you should not be using ChatGPT to write scripts. That's cringe, and they sound bad anyway.
Yeah, of
but
course.
I suspect he wasn't doing that. I think that generally speaking, using ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini or what have you and I can't speak for the free versions. I have a non-free version. To summarize, well-respected is not the right word, but to summarize kind of mainstream things that you're not well-read on is actually probably fine most of the time. I think most of the people who say that these LLMs just hallucinate stuff, they haven't touched an LLM since 2024 and they only used a free version. They don't really hallucinate that much anymore, especially the more premium versions. Now, for getting specific details right, you should double check those. And I think it's probably irresponsible to not double check them, especially given the sources that are usually given to you when you ask for, facts about whatever. I think that that's probably worth doing. But if you're just trying to get a general view as to what's actually what is true about XYZ thing, because you need some sort of concept to be locked in place, then I think that that's probably fine as long as it's a mainstream thing and not something that's super fringe. I don't know. I think that my general view is that a lot of people who have very strong feelings about this have strong feelings for two reasons, and one of them is fine and the other one's not. If you have very strong feelings for environmental reasons, I think that that's fine because there's a lot of environmental hazard with training these things. They're horrible for the environment.
Yeah.
If you have strong feelings about it because it's going to give you wrong information, it's misinformation, it hallucinates all the time. It's just fancy autocomplete. All of those are several years out of date at this point, and are not really they're not really valid criticisms anymore.
Yeah. Although
what if I'm using Oracle AI?
What?
What if I'm using Oracle AI?
True.
I have no idea what that is.
It's the fucking scam AI that this guy sells for $500 a month to you and your business. Can you imagine
sense.
the back end is just it queries Claude?
Grok, please check on Grokopedia.
Yeah.
By the way, I would say that the Google search AI, this is just Gemini, the free version of Gemini, that's atrociously bad. It's bad because it'll just cite Reddit. And I've seen it cite Grokopedia before. And I'm like, look, Gemini, I don't want you citing Grok.
Yeah.
In order to give me so the Google Gemini search bar AI is atrociously bad. But if you have a dedicated plus version or whatever, or a pro version of ChatGPT or one of these fancy versions of Claude, it's going to be pretty reliable stuff most of the time.
Yeah. I obviously agree with all of that. But I wish that Google AI, I wish that if all it could find is Reddit posts that it said, listen, dog, don't bother.
Yep.
Or that open.
Sometimes you want Reddit posts, right? Help, I don't know how to fix this. And then you'll just go find the one person on Reddit from 10 years ago who figured out how to fix it. That's great, but it should tell you when it's getting its factual information about how Venus works from Reddit or from a scientific article.
True. Or you'll check the works cited and it's the fucking Creation Institute. And it's
yeah, like it's really great if you're trying to like find solutions. Like one of the best things that I found it for is like it used to be that you would basically just Google a problem and then you would have to Google 100 different keyword variations to find the one Reddit post that has like the one guy from 8 years ago who fixed this one particular problem with like this one particular piece of outdated software. And Gemini's really good at finding that, exceptionally good at finding that even. But it's not very good at giving you good information like about, you know, detailed facts about the world.
What does the free version do differently to the premium version to make it so that it doesn't hallucinate as much or gives you more reliable information?
Wouldn't know.
So I don't know.
I don't work with the Brokey version. No, I'm kidding.
Exactly. I mean, like it could just be that Gemini is pulling. So I'm only comparing the free Gemini version with the non-free ChatGPT version. And so, you know, I imagine somebody says in the comments they probably put you on older models. That's probably true.
That's true.
Models
yeah.
that don't think as much.
Yeah, they'll have your ass on like fucking Anthropic Haiku or something.
Yeah.
Some model that you've never. They'll put you on like the equivalent of like the fucking Q team.
That sounds like counterintuitive too. Like if you're trying to advertise a service with the free service and then your free service is inaccurate and gives you wrong information, I wouldn't be spending money for the premium one.
Yeah, well, this is one thing that I use Claude. I have a paid Claude subscription, but one thing that I use it for, Claude Research is like really good actually. It's like if you give it like a developed query, like it puts like critical thought into it, and it's not usually like fully developed. Like it's certainly like nothing that's like worth putting out into the world. You know, I would never use like an argument that it generated for me or some shit like that, but I mean, it's like really good at like finding sources that are like in the realm of the thing that I was looking for.
Have you used it for your like next debate?
A little bit. I had it survey it. I thought some of the arguments were, some of them were better than others.
How did it survey a debate? How does that work?
Well, I said, okay, here are the characteristics of my opponent. Like, what are some struggles historically for this theology?
Okay.
I don't know if I'm convinced that the problems are that good.
The ones that it gave you.
Yeah, I can send you the. In fact, I can send this over to you.
The ones we spoke about earlier, they wouldn't have went well, I believe.
Yeah. I think that all of these ones are like pretty escapable. But one sec, let me.
I feel like the debate topic is too like vague. Isn't it just like the what was it, like the philosophical consistency of Islam or something? Or
No, it's which one's more likely? The Islamic God exists or no God exists?
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's just like the Islamic God specifically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's. I mean, the topic is kind of weirdly written, but it is like the Islamic God or no God. One sec. Let me see if I can't find.
I 100% can confirm he's gonna hide behind the Arabic the entire debate.
I'm not running like Quran stuff against him.
Oh, do you have a debate scheduled with someone?
Yeah, I'm debating Islamic Apex sometime soon.
Oh, okay.
I'm on a Orthodox Muslims channel.
Fucking hell.
One sec. Let me. It spit out two things. One sec. Let me. Okay. Yeah, these are the M's I sent you over. What it spit out. I don't think either of them are particularly good. These aren't the problems that I'm planning on running. But yeah. Sorry. One sec. Back on track. Like a Wild Wolf, thanks so much for Super Chat. Oracle looks down on us all from the peak of Mount Stupid. True. That's a fact. Glitterlock, thanks so much for Super Chat. Can we please have Oracle say, but I was going into Toshi Station to pick up some power converters. I don't get it. What's this from?
No idea. Isn't Toshi like something from Mario?
That's Star Wars.
Or
Oh,
it is.
fuck. God damn it. What episode?
I want to say 4.
Hmm.
So like the movie called Star Wars.
Sure. I see. Obligatory tag. Thanks so much, Super Chat. I love how this Oracle idiot changed his tone from big man on campus to the nice guy who's just trying to learn the minute he knew there was no way to win this argument. True. Yeah. I don't know. Everyone wants to be a lion against the lambs, and then they act like lambs against the lions. One bad weekend. Thanks so much, Super Chat. When someone runs tag, you can ask them if they could be a brain in a vat, and if so, would tag apply to vat reality when they have no access to it? I think that weird things start to happen. What they want to say is that God designed their senses so their senses are reliable, but they don't want you to say that evolution gave rise to your senses, so your senses are reliable. And there's not a good symmetry breaker there. One bad weekend. Thanks so much, Super Chat. Versus code D Django. Dude is illiterate. True. Sebastian, thanks so much for the loot box on YouTube. I appreciate that. Okay, wait 1 sec. Let me I'm gonna release a new YouTube video. It's dropping. It's against that one wacko. No, wait, shit. This one's like super not made for kids. Okay. Submit. There. Okay. It's titled Guy Crashes Out So Hard He Deletes Himself from Reality. Heart attack, dude.
Hey, you fucking.
I think you're gonna have like a fucking heart attack, dude.
Hey, you fucking retard.
I'm concerned for your blood pressure. Holy shit.
Blushing like a bitch 'cause
Yeah,
you got
I'm
you
blushing
painted in
because
your
I'm thinking
corner,
about how good of
dumbass.
content this is
What
gonna
is
make.
that?
Hey, how's it going?
It sounds like Minar.
Okay. Oh no, it's not. It's like the totally like crazy guy.
Minar reports. What?
I think this guy is like. I think Benar looks like a scholar compared to this guy. Okay. It's time for me to leave. It's leaving time. I'm leaving. It's time for me to leave.
Beautiful leaving.
Time, perhaps.
Have a good one.